to total liberation now.
It is
Oh, okay.
7 seconds, 8 seconds.
It hasn't popped up on our phone over here yet.
Okay, weird.
We are here in Vancouver, Washington, on the waterfront, and we're going to be doing some total liberationist outreach here. We have vegan stoner lady with us. Always great to have vegan stoner lady. To have Anna with us. All right, we are live. It's great. Great to be here. The sun is beautiful today.
Oh yeah.
I think it has people in great moods. There's also a lot of people who are drawn to the waterfront to soak up the sun and the nice weather. We're hoping to connect with open-minded people today and make connections between human injustices as well as the injustices that plague our animal relatives. We're asking, is it fair for other humans or for humans to exploit other animals when we don't need to? When we live in a world of abundance of options, is it fair for us to continue to objectify other animals?
And where does animal liberation stand if not in tandem with human liberation, right? If we can't even treat other species of animal with respect and care, how can we expect people to treat us with respect and care? It's just simple. It's as simple as that. So hopefully we'll talk to some people today who are interested in changing how they see animals and humans as a whole, and recognize that humans as animals should care and, oh yeah, of course, should care and take responsibility for other animals.
I see there's 4 people here already. It's great to have you here. I'm going to ask the vegans who are here to put a 1 in the chat, non-vegans who are open-minded put a 2, and then trolls put a 3. I'm going to get a sense of who's here.
Say, no, nobody treats you with respect. What does that mean?
There are many people who treat me with respect.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Write another comment. And put your 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. I think I have an idea of who vegans are always triggered. I have an idea who or which number you're going to put.
Right.
They'll put it in the chat. Let's get this chat moving so we can start up a conversation. We don't necessarily want to argue, but we want to build community and ask about the connections between human oppression and animal oppression.
Yeah.
If it's not fair to oppress humans, why is it fair to oppress other animals?
Yeah. We're reaching out to the communities near us to speak to people and maybe educate them about practices they don't know about or things that happen to animals that they morally would be against, yet continue to support and aid in the perpetuation of atrocious harm. So and a big way to not do that is to by changing how you see animals as a whole. Animals don't deserve the fates that humans put on them, right? So how can we change that in our lives and take control of our own narrative?
It's great to have you here. Oh, wow. There's already 12 people here. Everyone, please double tap that screen. Double tap and share the live as well. We want a big conversation with lots of people. I'm going to ask again because I didn't see the 1s, 2s, and 3s. But for the vegans that are here, put your 1 in the chat. Or you can put anything else. Just get the algorithm moving as well. But to the curious non-vegans, put a 2. And to the trolls and the anti-vegans, put a 3 or whatever else you want to put. To the non-vegans who are curious, I want to ask you, what justifies treating other animals as objects when we could instead relate to them as our relatives that we share this planet with and treat them as individuals? Why would we objectify them when we don't need to?
Says, weren't you guys blocking chicken trucks in Kelso a couple weeks ago? We didn't block anything there. In fact, he kind of ran a red light through, the intersection, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but
we documented some abuses of power at the Kelso plant.
Yeah.
We'd stand against the objectification of birds.
Yes.
If it's not acceptable to treat a dog as an object, to use their flesh or their secretions, why is it acceptable to do it to birds? What would be the distinguishing characteristic between a bird and a dog that means it's okay to use, objectify, and kill the bird, but not the dog?
What's stopping you from caring about the individual lives of each animal on those trucks? We personally care, about their liberation. So that's why we are out there. What's what's the issue with that? You know, why would you want, you know, more people exploited or more exploitation in the world when you can do something to stop it, or do something at least bring awareness to try to stop it?
Is it fair for us to contribute to injustices, whether they are targeting humans or beyond humans? If we have another choice, if we don't need to contribute, why wouldn't we opt out of that cycle of violence and oppression and exploitation?
Is it fair to all the humans who do believe that they are against oppression and against these injustices, that is it fair that they don't know the reality of things because they've been conditioned in a world that is upheld by those systems? Like, is it fair to them that they don't get a chance
That it's
to...
been hidden from them, that they don't have informed consent.
Yeah. So...
It's great to have y'all here. Please keep double tapping that screen and sharing the live. I want to ask, there may be somebody who wants to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I want to ask the non-vegans to leave your argument in favor of exploiting other animals when we have another choice. What would justify it? So that we can open up conversation.
Yeah, anonymous NPC is saying, dude thinks he isn't conditioned. I mean, go by all means, tell me how, you know? I'm very much aware of the ways that humans are conditioned by society.
Yeah, Anonymous is asking, is this a vegan channel? So this is a total liberationist channel that combines vegan ethics with anarchist ethics with a consistent opposition to every form of hierarchy and domination in the world. We oppose white supremacy and colonization. We support decolonial movements and movements for land back. And we support Black Lives Matter movements. We're trying to stand against every instance of injustice, including the injustice towards other animals that we share this planet with. Is it justified? Is it fair to treat them as objects or resources to use when instead we could treat them as individuals to be respected? Somebody says y'all gay, so sexual orientation isn't linked to our liberation activism, our liberation ethics.
You said you're very vegetarian. I just it only leads me to ask you: have you heard about veganism, or as like a philosophy instead of just the diet part? Because oh yeah, I totally agree. How animals are treated is disgusting. Although like we also recognize the fact that it's more than just treatment, right? Because even when animals are treated extremely well, like say they treat their cows really well on their small farm, it still doesn't justify what they're doing to them, right? And so I guess I would ask you, maybe are you aware of all the exploitation that goes into, producing chickens for eggs and, milk for dairy, because I feel like once I found out about those things as well, like, I don't know, it just was never a question for me whether or not, that also counts when I think about wanting to liberate people from, systems built off their reproductive harm.
Oh, that's totally.
You can go first if you'd like. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
And to get you somewhat aligned in frame, we kind of have these squares here. So, let's see. Are we in frame? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So what's your name?
My name is Cameron.
I'm Cooper.
Hello, Cooper.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
So, again, like I was telling you, we're here to talk about animals.
Yeah.
When I talk about animals or we just bring them up, what comes to mind to you?
Probably foxes and bears.
Foxes and bears.
Foxes and bears.
Would you say you like other animals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their animals are cool.
Have you ever had like a companion dog or a companion cat?
No.
No?
Sadly.
Have you spent much time around them?
I have horses.
Okay.
I used to live on a farm. I grew up at a farm in Yakima.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
With the time that you spent around the horses or dogs or whichever
had a zebra,
animals,
too.
or zebra.
We had a zebra. It was very weird. All the kids on the bus said they wanted to come over, and I was like, he bites. He's very mean. That's what I was told.
They're all individuals. Some of them are,
some
a little more feisty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say with like your times with those animals, what does it teach you about their feelings?
They're valid too.
Their feelings are valid?
Yeah.
Would you say they have a capacity to suffer?
Yeah.
When you think about animals like, I don't know, pigs or fish, do you think they share this capacity to have feelings and to
all
suffer?
other pigs.
They all do?
Yeah.
Do you think as people who live in 2026, Do you think we need anything from other animals for entertainment or clothing or food?
Well, like crows and stuff, they have like a really, and like rats as well. They look out for each other. I feel like we should, as a species, look out for each other more than we have been right now.
We don't show a lot of empathy in our
We
society.
don't, and it truly sucks.
I agree with you.
Yeah, as somebody being homeless, living in their van right now, it sucks.
It's unjust
Yeah.
when we have empty, apartments
Yeah.
where people, should be
Can
able
live.
to live.
Yeah.
They're empty. Like, it's because we've chosen as a society. And we agree with you. That's an injustice. To to bring it back to that question of, do you think, like, is there anything we need from animals for entertainment, for instance?
For entertainment,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right. Because
Or maybe like funny dog trick here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like a circus every once in a while.
a circus. What do you think about how the animals are used there? Do you think it's fair if we could instead maybe watch a nature documentary and see the animals while they're free? Do you think that would be a better choice than going to the
like that,
circus?
yeah.
Yeah?
But yeah, I lost what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I wonder if there's nothing that we need from other animals. If we have an alternative and we know they suffer, do you think it's fair for humans to use them today?
Use the animals or the alternative?
To use the animals? Is it fair for us to
If we
use
do
the
have an
animals?
alternative,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I mean, no.
You don't think it would be fair if we had the alternative?
I do think it would be fair that we have the alternative, so we can just use the alternative.
Okay, yeah. I think we're talking past each other, but I'm
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you. I agree with what you're
It's
saying. Yeah, I'm just
awesome.
getting at like I'm also autistic, so we share that. But like, if we have that alternative, let's say we're walking into a grocery store, for instance, and they have some, pig parts and they have some cow parts, but they also have a bag of beans or they have a mock meat or a block of tofu. Do you think it's justifiable for us to pick up the animal parts if we can simply pick up the other stuff?
It depends on your personal preference, I guess.
Right. Do you think it's justified from the animal's perspective if we participate in this violent system against them if we didn't need to?
I don't know.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. I haven't really given a lot of thought into it.
When you ponder about it and you consider it right now a little bit,
Yeah.
do you think violence against animals, do you think we should have to need to, do you think there should be a
Oh, no,
necessity
I feel
behind
like there should
it?
be more humane if we're going to do it, and like better living conditions. Because I used to work at foster farms, and it was horrible.
We investigated foster farms
You
here
did?
in Kelso.
Good. I used to work at that one.
You worked at Foster
I
Farms
worked at the
Kelso.
one in
Wow.
Kelso. It
I
was
just
awful.
almost want to share with my fellow team.
Do it.
Wow. He's worked with Foster Farms Kelso.
It
Do,
was- it
will you
was
share
awful.
your
I hated it.
experience a little bit?
They don't really care for the employees nor the chickens. Sometimes I'd see them running them over with the forklifts and stuff, and they keep them in these cramped cages, and they smell so bad when you're driving behind them
Yeah.
or just getting
We
off work.
visited there and we know
Yeah.
the smell, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's awful,
intense, isn't it?
It's awful.
It's like-
It makes you want to
It's like a wave.
throw up.
Right. So when you were kind of close by to that system, did it deter you from wanting to consume birds?
Yes.
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 When you saw more about it.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
I already
yeah.
knew about it because Matt's Meats in
Matt-
Kelso.
I'm also. Oh, is it Walt? Is that what you're
Matt's.
I'm not familiar with Matt's.
Matt's Meats is custom owned. It's
Okay.
a butcher shop.
Okay.
I used to work there as well.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a pretty cool experience, but yeah, but with the birds and stuff, yeah, let's calm it down on that a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. Can I ask what part of the process you were in? I don't know how much you want to share.
I had two parts. I signed up for sanitation, did that for a month, but I didn't get
Okay.
trained enough on it, so they said I was too slow, and they moved me to day shift. And day shift, I was hanging and rehang.
Okay.
Hanging is just hanging the birds by the feet on the whatever it's called, the chain.
Right.
And
That
then
goes pretty
rehang-
fast, right?
Not really.
No, you wouldn't say?
Not really.
Okay.
It's pretty boring. It's pretty slow. Very cold.
Okay.
And then rehang is once they're all defeathered and they look like how you if you were to put it in the oven like a regular chicken, it would just
Their bodies are kind of dismembered a little
Yeah.
bit. Their feathers are gone.
the feathers
They're kind
are
of
gone,
boiled
heads
off.
are gone,
Yeah.
the feet are gone, and you hang them on there and they go up and do whatever they do with
Yeah.
it. I didn't really care to check out the rest of the factory.
You weren't quite sure, but I want to ask you, I want to return to it and see if we can think about it a little bit more. If we have a choice in the grocery store and we can contribute to chickens being farmed and used and killed, or we have another choice like a plant option.
Synthetics, kind of.
No, like think of like whole foods plant-based, like potatoes,
Oh, yeah.
beans, rice, grains, fruit, veg, nuts, seeds, things like that, rice. If we could choose between all of these options and not contribute to the birds being used, I wonder, would that be more in alignment with your own principles?
I don't really have any strong opinions on it, but I do not like the animal cruelty part of it. And
What would stop you from boycotting it, saying, I don't like the cruelty, I don't like that these animals are being used, I just don't want to be part of it? What would stop you, do you think?
possibly getting arrested again. Did not like jail. I kind of try to stay out of there, and if things
you
go
just
sideways.
mean that like you're in a situation of like hardship, like right
Yeah.
now? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Living in my van, I don't know when I'm gonna have my next meal, so I'm trying
hear you.
to survive right now.
Right. If you were at, I don't know, a place that was offering up 2 food options and one was full of animals and one was plant-based, if you had the option, because I'm not trying to like harp on
no,
anybody who
you're
doesn't have an opportunity, but
Yeah.
if you did, do you think it would be more fair from the animal's perspective to choose the plant option?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of veganism before? And if so, how would you define it?
Not wanting, from what I've learned, because I have a vegan friend, not liking animal cruelty or eating stuff that doesn't come from animals,
Right.
like milk. I don't know if he eats honey, or like eggs or types of stuff that's fried in some sort of oil.
Yeah.
I think animal-based
it's like
oil.
fried in lard or like
Yeah.
animal fat. They won't want to eat
Yeah,
that part either.
it's just
Would your friend also boycott the rodeo, do you think? Would they also not want to participate in animals being used at the rodeo?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I don't hang out with them
Right.
anymore because I moved.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this was a long time ago, but
When you
I don't know.
when you think of making swaps like that, like choosing to watch maybe a documentary on cows where the cows aren't being used, do you think it's more fair to choose to watch that documentary than go buy a rodeo ticket where these cows are going to be used and killed? Yeah.
Teaches your kids about animals and stuff.
Without them being used or killed. I don't know if you know, a lot of the cows they end up dead.
Yeah.
They end up shooting them if they incur injuries because they see the vet expenses as a bigger.
Or with the piston gun.
Yeah.
That's a big one too.
The bolt gun, is that what you're
Bolt
talking
gun,
about?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about what you did at Matt's?
Matt's? Oh, I
I was just curious.
just regular butcher stuff.
Okay.
Cutting it up, packaging.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you ever participate in any of like the kill floors where they
No,
were?
I did not.
Okay.
Not at Matt's, no.
I wonder, did you ever see it?
Occasionally.
When you saw it, what did you think? that's what you were thinking?
Yeah, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
wouldn't want that to be me.
I wonder, if you have another option, how many more animals should enter the slaughterhouse for you if you have another option?
For me?
Yeah, what do you think?
Probably none.
Probably none.
Probably not.
What does that mean? Where does that leave you?
Uh,
Are you reflecting on some of this?
Kinda, yeah.
I really appreciate your open-mindedness.
Thank you.
I want to ask like maybe one more question,
Okay.
or maybe two more to wrap it up.
You're fine.
Okay. When you think about your own ethics, how many, in your own kind of principles, how many animals would you prefer are used for you within entertainment and clothing or animal testing? How many would you prefer are used for you in the future?
Well, entertainment, not really none,
None.
because it's cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Why
then
is it cruel for entertainment, do you think?
captivity?
The captivity part.
Like seals at an aquarium or something. They're just
Right.
in a little.
I'm with you,
Or
yeah.
penguins. They're not in their natural habitat.
They would prefer to be free.
Yeah. What was the other question?
Well,
What was the second part of that question?
Well, I want to touch on one part you said. You said about the captivity. Do you think that there's a similar system of captivity within the food realm? I think you know. Like, I don't mean to walk you into it, but
I have no clue.
well,
I
factory,
see food and I
yeah.
eat it.
So we would love to share a resource card with you that does show what's happening inside farms and slaughterhouses. You already have a good idea of what's
Yeah.
happening in slaughterhouses, but these farms are another place that it's important to examine, because if we watch it and we become an informed consumer, it gives us that opportunity to say, do I want to opt out? Do I want to continue? But if we just don't know, then we kind of have our head in the sand type of thing. Would you be willing to take a resource card about that?
Yeah, take it.
Okay. I wonder, there's a lot of planes going over today.
Airport's right there.
Uh-huh.
Somewhere close.
What would be your biggest personal obstacle to saying, I think I want to relate to animals as individuals, not resources to be used. What do you think would be your biggest obstacle?
Being free, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
I
just
hear you.
having
I
no
wonder,
responsibilities.
I wonder, in a world where you had more choice, would you have any like theoretical or like principles-based opposition? Like, are there any arguments that come to mind that you're like, this would prevent me even if I had a choice?
I got to think about that. That one's a really complicated question.
Okay. Well, I'll leave you with this. This does link to our website here at Anti-Animal Use, and it gets at some resources. It also lists an organization called Food Not Bombs. Have you heard of this one?
Yes.
It's pretty cool. They just serve up plant-based food. It's trying to disconnect food from being seen as like a commodity or a profit.
Yeah.
They're just trying to distribute food to the community, like trying to remove this idea that food should be something that has a paywall.
Yeah.
Like it should just be for all of us.
Like a basic human right.
Yeah.
I heard that North Korea and America were the only two who voted on water not being a basic human necessity.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can see how this is going to create so many problems with wars in the future
Wars,
over
yeah,
water.
Over water.
When we have more than enough to go around right now.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just so unjust.
The rich just get richer.
Yep. Well, I really appreciate your time with this conversation. It's been like really enlightening for me. I'm going to reflect on this afterwards. I invite you to do the same. And I'll leave you with that.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Your name was?
Cooper.
I'm Cameron again.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right.
Awesome.
Don't mind me. I can be awkward sometimes. Also autistic.
Thank you for being interviewed.
Oh,
Hello, Daniel.
It's, Total Liberation Camp. I'm like speaking for you.
We're just getting started here. We did give you a card that says anti-animal use. That's part of our other group that we're part of, but we're just getting Total Liberation Now off its feet. But if you do want to see the video, it's Total Liberation Now.
Up there.
Hi, Daniel Broccoli. It's so great to have you here in the live. He says, I hate violence.
Exactly, that's you.
I'm so interested in your experience at that postal place. I don't know if you have an email or something.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey guys.
Not too much going on.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
as eventful.
Yeah, no. Like, hey guys, what's going on? Just gonna pop in and help here. Let's see. Oh gosh, the glasses don't help. Oh, everything. Let me put this down too. There we go.
We're trying to
At
make
least
a
we can-
difference inside that facility.
Oh, hey Daniel, it's good to
Make it
see
more
you.
fair for the animals, the people inside. I know the people.
Oh, yeah, you're-
treated
oh.
a lot inside there as well.
That what a harrowing experience to hear about.
We might reach out or something.
That'll be super cool.
Exactly. We all are very much against violence. So we're out here in beautiful Vancouver, Washington at the Vancouver Waterfront Park. And we're just going to be asking people about their values. It might take a minute for people to start trickling in for conversations. Hey, what's up? Yes, Cooper is great. Cooper is really good at interviews, I have to say. I actually asked them and Elvin if they could do something on like intersectionality and language and just how we can be better advocates and more precise and clear with our languages, to be exact on what we mean when we're talking about our fellow animal kin and and humans, like how we relate and how that relationship has been ignored and almost normalized to violate, so yeah, we're here to talk to people about living in alignment with their own values again, because everyone does agree that we shouldn't exploit each other. It's not how we should treat each other, just taking advantage of the vulnerable for our own benefit. That's not fair. And most people agree. So we're hoping to talk to people about, getting back in alignment and feeling good about your choices.
We're often on the Portland side, but
It feels so good out here. It's a little warm directly in the sun, but when you get a good breeze, it feels so good.
always on the watch.
So veganism is an ethical stance against the exploitation of sentient beings.
Oh, yeah.
We would be.
And we're just saying that we don't want to demand someone be enslaved for us.
You said me.
Oh my gosh, we're making a lot of good connections right now.
There's a video somewhere of them fighting ISIS.
I'm going to put,
Fist combat.
yes, we're for total liberation of all sentient beings from all human-caused exploitation.
Somebody, we have to do something.
Exactly. Animals are not objects.
Too, and we can-
They're not here for us. They exist with us. Precisely, vegan anthem. Thank you.
Honestly, yeah, we have to
You can message them.
There's- for them, theirs for them. Animals don't equal objects. Theirs for them, theirs for them, theirs for them, theirs for them. Yeah, I do agree with you there. Yep, they are there. There is someone, and they care about what's happening to themselves. Yes, exactly. Good to see you, P-Veg Tex. Awesome. Good to see you too, Vegan Anthem. P-Veg Tex. I don't know if I've ever met you before. It's good to see you. Or maybe I just don't recognize your name. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Make sure that we're tapping the screen. Make sure that we're sharing if we can. Just being active just so we can get some more, non-vegans in here to hear. And even vegans, actually, because I feel like Total Liberation now is got a little more of a wider focus, and it's good for all of us to learn the lingo on how to be precise, not have to take more time, and just be able to focus on all sentient beings, that we all care about what happens to ourselves. We're here to speak up for the vulnerable, but we don't tread on anybody else, as long as you're not violating someone else. Pam's in here. Oh, it's Pam.
And segregation.
Well, it's funny because
Oh my gosh, Pam, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh. Happy dance. We love you, Pam. Good to see you. I didn't know you were on YouTube too, so that's cool. So, yeah, just waiting to have a conversation. For those that are just joining us, we're in Vancouver, Washington at the Vancouver Waterfront Park. And we're going to be doing some interviews asking people about their values and if they're living in alignment with them. Do they care about our animal kin, or do they only care about their own benefits as oppressors? Most people agree that if you can avoid demanding someone's exploitation, you should avoid demanding their exploitation. It's pretty simple. Exactly. Animals are here with us, not for us. It's unnecessary. We can totally abolish it, liberate everybody.
Talk about oppression, how it links with what we're doing to our animals.
Make sure that we're tapping. Make sure we're sharing. It's harder to talk when it's a little lower. Basically, we just think that everyone does share this principle. Everyone does agree, as I said, to not exploit each other. But yet we use other animals as objects. When we buy their milk, when we buy their eggs, when we buy their leather, when we buy for cosmetics that were tested on them, when we pay for their entertainment, even if it's given to us, it's still a demand, and it's unnecessary. And even if you're not demanding, maybe you like to go hunting, which is still exploitation. You're using somebody without their consent for your benefit, not theirs, not their best interest. So that's what we're here to speak up against, is the unfair use of others, the unfair exploitation, as the definition of exploitation is. When you convince animals to stop eating other animals, I will consider it. Well, the difference is, though, that's like saying when children start to act like adults, then I will stop perpetuating harm on others or violating others or exploiting others. It shouldn't matter what others are doing. If you know what's right or wrong, you should do what you think is right. When you understand that someone is feeling that they care about what happens to themselves, you should consider their best interest before your benefits. So let's say I had a dog next to me. They can't speak to me, but I wanted to get exercise and joy from just kicking the crap out of them. Their experiences matter more than any benefit I would gain from that, right? Even if it was a tradition that my family did for generations. Let's start with me. Oh, I see. Yes, that was a response to the in no way affiliated.
I can't find it, but yeah, I'm like.
I agree with not doing bad to animals, but eating them for good or hunting them is what we are intended to do when God created all animals for the circle of life. Well, Brooks, I would challenge you on that. Is God really the reason that you're using other animals? Does your God require that you use other animals? Because most religions that I've come across do not demand that you use other animals. I could join almost any religion as a vegan. So if your God doesn't demand it, it's only that it's allowed. And just because you're allowed to do something, when there's a victim involved, should you do that? I say no. If I was the victim, I don't care if you have a higher authority that gives you permission. I am in this body. I care about what happens to me, and that's what matters more. Oh, sure. I'll do an interview. Awesome. Thank you for coming back. I'll take you to this square here. You both can be in the shot if you want, or you can stand off. That's fine either way.
She makes videos of herself all the time. I just want this to be very clear.
But I don't like being interviewed. No, I get that. I actually hate being interviewed too. So I totally get it. My name's Anna. What's yours?
I'm Stefan.
Stefan, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Anna.
So we're just asking about oppression. Do you think powerful individuals, whatever that advantage is, being strong or maybe really smart, do you think that being powerful gives you the right to oppress the powerless? I agree. Yeah, it seems pretty obvious.
Yeah.
What about when it comes to other animals? We use them for food, clothing, entertainment, or like the circus or the zoo. Would you agree that we're oppressing them in that situation?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I don't run a zoo or a frame. I mean, it's a weird question about zoos even, because I grew up as a kid going to zoos all the time, but I've thought about that more since then. They're captive in there. I think perhaps those animals are being kept alive if they wouldn't be otherwise. But I don't doubt that's probably the case. And mostly specimens that have been collected.
I don't disagree that we should care for who's here, but zoos tend to breed individuals into existence. How do you feel about that?
That's a strange thing, isn't it? I didn't really think about it most of my life.
Yeah. Most people don't even know, honestly.
Yeah.
But we hear about like this new baby was born and everyone gets excited, but it's like, was that really fair for that individual to be born into captivity?
Mm-hmm.
So we always question zoos because they're usually for profit, right? It's one thing if it's like a
They're not usually
rehabilitation.
for research or something like that?
Yeah, no, they're for profit, so they're usually for people to go look at. They want to make sure that there's enough. I mean, some of them are in rehabilitation, some of them can't be released back out to the wild. But wouldn't you think that, like, I don't know, if I was being rescued or healed in some way, I wouldn't really want to be gawked at all the time, right? It might be more beneficial for them if we, for entertainment, maybe watched a documentary or saw them in their natural wild habitat, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, what about when it comes to...
I think it's pretty out of date, perhaps.
Yeah, the zoos, exactly.
I mean, I think one of the things I like a lot about environmental thinking is the idea that we are cohabitants of the planet.
Yeah.
We're not the kings of the planet.
Exactly, they're here
with
us.
Yeah, and that's a newer conception for me, I think, as I've grown older and stuff like that. So it makes me rethink things like zoo, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about like when we send animals into a slaughterhouse?
It's gross, but I eat meat.
Yeah.
I think I just don't look, and
that's
I don't
how
think
I was too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we do look, what is it about it that we don't like?
The violence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we relate with them? Do you think that other animals feel?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Do you think there's anything that we absolutely need from animals that might justify what we do?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not, plant-based lack of protein is not met without animal products.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
But I can't say that I know authoritatively one way or the other.
Yeah, we're not really often taught the science because we usually leave it to the professionals, right? Mm-hmm. If I gave you a resource to be able to look into yourself and you found out that you could get all your needed protein and other nutrients, would you feel because we don't need to use animals that the right choice would be to not use them?
Well, I mean, I also think that life feeds on life and that plants are just stationary animals.
I mean, they are alive, but they're not sentient. We have science.
Well, I don't know. There's actually a different thinking about consciousness actually existing in all levels.
So there's actually
throughout.
been meta-analysis on those. All these studies where someone was singing to a plant or they played classical music or they screamed at it, those studies have not been reliably repeated. But those studies that look at those phenomenons and found just interacting with, what's the word I'm looking for, stimuli response, responding to stimuli, those were reliably repeated. So the conclusion right now is that plants are not sentient like animals and humans, but let's say they were sentient.
Not at the level of animals.
Let's say they were sentient.
Mm-hmm.
We actually currently use a lot more plants to feed animals. There's something called the trophic pyramid. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Sometimes we call it the food chain. And every step you go up on that food chain, you're actually losing 90% of the energy that went into the individual below. So when you consume an herbivore, you're actually losing 90% of the energy that it took to raise that individual, because they move, right? They're thinking, that burns energy, they still have to eat. So we're finding that There was a giant study, and I'll give you a card so you can find this live and you can look this up. But it's called Reducing Food's Environmental Impacts Through Producers and Consumers. That's a whole mouthful. But it was the largest meta-analysis on the topic. We could actually cut down our agricultural land use by 75% and at the same time be able to feed over our current population. So I'll say it again, that we can feed over our current population on a quarter, a fraction of the land that we use now, getting everything we need. So hearing that, does that make you maybe reconsider the efficiency of using other animals?
Certainly.
Yeah. So when we now step aside from that, we recognize that there's a sentient being there, right? If I had a dog here, and this is grotesque, but go with me here. If I had a dog here and I was going to kick them for entertainment, it's sick. But for entertainment and exercise, and let's say it's a tradition in my family, would you say that I should keep doing that, or should I find something else to kick?
Yeah, I understand where you're going.
Yeah. If I gave you a resource, would you be willing to watch a documentary? It's like 3 minutes.
Possibly.
I appreciate that. I don't have the card on me. I'll grab one from them. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't prepare. Awesome. So if you just click, you can either go to our website or scan the QR code.
Okay.
And you just tap on see what I find. It's 3 minutes. I'm going to ask you 2 last hard questions. I'll let you go. You've been really patient. I really do appreciate it. Would you be willing to go plant-based until you watch that documentary? That just means no
Probably not.
purchasing. Well, so I'll explain why I ask, because they did a study on this. There's something called cognitive dissonance. So if you are currently benefiting from using an animal they're digesting in your stomach, you're not going to pay attention to the documentary as fair as you would if you weren't currently benefiting from that. So because it brings up this discomfort, you enjoy the flavors, you enjoy your nostalgic feelings from it, so it makes you not want to see the truth. Like you said, we don't want to see it. So if you go if you're just plant-based, you don't consume any other animals until you watch it, you're going to be a little more honest with watching it. And imagine if it was puppies, because we don't need to eat dogs either. Would you still want to fund it? All right, last question, I'll let you go. How many more animals do you want exploited for you? Is it more than 0?
I don't know.
I'll put emphasis. It's not so much the it's not the is, like what will happen. What would you prefer? Would you prefer to have a world where you got everything you needed without using other animals?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the value that we all share.
Okay.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. What's your name again?
Stefan.
Stefan, I'm Anna. Thank you so much. And like I said, you can find us Total Liberation Now and rewatch the live. You were amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me.
All right.
Yeah, you have a good rest of your day.
Okay,
Thank you
take it
so
easy.
much. I really appreciate it, guys. That was a really honest conversation.
No, I look good, but I'm like...
Yes, I know. Vegan Anthem, you can berate me on it. I did use some speciesist language. Yeah, that was actually really good. I didn't expect him to say yes to watching the documentary.
Oh, yeah, he did? Okay.
Yeah,
good.
and he listened to the reasons why he should go plant-based until watching it, and he seemed receptive.
I'm glad about that.
Yeah, it was really good. How's everyone doing in here? Let's see. So, okay, so we have some trolls that are just being emotional. Or is that a vegan just making fun of them? I don't even know. It kind of reminds me of the right can't meme kind of thing, and it's like they start saying things that are actually against their own arguments.
This one's interesting. Somebody says you're fighting a battle
Yeah.
you can't win. I applaud your efforts, though. We won't win a battle to abolish the murder or exploitation of other humans, but we still stand against it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the same thing that people say against, anti-racist or
Yeah.
anti-sexist.
Oh, you know
or,
what? Honestly, I do think it would be really hard, which is weird. It shouldn't be any different, but I do feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just I have this vision that racists are violent. I would have a hard time talking to a racist about not being racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it, but it'd be scary, I feel like.
It's a racist, or it's a violent idea. Racist.
Yeah.
Someone says it's not the
maybe it's
same
just 'cause what
thing.
I've seen.
Please tell me how, because racism is some people using an arbitrary quality to oppress or exploit other people or put their interests below theirs, right? And speciesism is people using an arbitrary quality to justify putting somebody else. So it's just they're both the
exactly why
same.
they're intertwined.
It makes
Exactly.
no sense.
It
so.
really doesn't. Like I say it all the time. It's like you're literally saying because you're not in my group,
Yes,
it's okay
exactly.
to ignore your
Yeah,
sentience.
that's one of the easiest ways to put it too. Yeah, it's like it's all just grouping, and don't know, trying
No,
to say
it's-
that because people aren't,
I think
in
it's
yours.
called in group, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
in grouping,
second guessing myself.
something like that. I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it, but someone says they have so many gays in the vegan community. I'm like, they have so many straights in
You know
it too.
why?
But
It's because a lot of us that are in this community have experienced some kind of oppression, and we stand against that because we've experienced it.
right,
So
it's like when you let people live their life the way they would like to, and you don't put your interests over the interests of anybody else. You'll notice more diverse people.
Yep.
It's just. Someone says humans are humans, animals are animals. Humans are actually animals too, though. So you gotta really get specific or figure it out. You say go to another country. OMG, why? This is the country I'm, supposed to be home to. So how about you go to another country and learn about how there's vegans there too? There's vegans everywhere. You can't escape them. They're everywhere, and it's only a growing group. So either learn about it now or learn about it later. Someday, veganism is gonna come into your life because whether it's a good point or bad point, whether the world is going really well and we're all plant-based, or the world's going really bad and we're all plant-based. It says experienced. Sit down, B. I was adopted and moved from home to home back in the 80s. What does that mean? Did all that time being moved from home to home teach you that you should discriminate against or be making jokes about gay people? Oh no, I'm good. That doesn't make any sense. And there's queerness is so everywhere, right? It's in nature, inherently. So it's not like someone says you weak vegans are able to embrace that lifestyle because stronger people laid the foundation for you to take that stance. That doesn't make any sense, right? Being able to embrace the lifestyle that is, being anti-exploitation of sentient beings is in no way affiliated with the idea that, somebody had to have done it before me or had to have figured out or laid the foundation, right? Because actually, I actually even myself, don't really agree with some of the language that's used in foundational vegan, spaces or books or stuff like that, because some of them still use human, animal, binary language, and so even that, I don't know, social justice movements are something that should be ever evolving and growing, right? So it doesn't, matter if somebody laid down a foundation, right? That foundation is something you build off of. Someone says it does make sense. Sad you can't see it. You know what does make sense, and I'm sad you can't see, is that animals deserve, more consideration, and they're not right now. Nobody gives them any, really. So they, need to be reanalyzing their relationship with animals and figuring out that they too have interests and they can feel, they have pain, they're sentient, right? They have dreams and goals and personalities and conversations with their fellow animals, right? That we can't even understand. So who are we, right, as a species to cause so much destruction and harm to everybody else, right? What is your reason for not being vegan, for not switching that mindset, right? And then, by consequence of switching that mindset, going on a plant-based diet to, make sure that you're living in alignment with your morals. So it says, do you grow your own food? I do not right now. That is my goal, though, eventually. Someone says, my family says I'm brainwashed when I try to talk about veganism. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I recommend, to an extent, make comments when you can, trying to, get them to see how, basically, all you're doing is not, aiding in the exploitation of animals. And, it can be hard to, I don't know, I guess it's hard to make points like that just in the passing, but I don't know. Don't push yourself too much, I guess I want to say, to veganize your family or get them to understand veganism, if it hurts too much. Because sometimes, the people who are closest to reacting in negative ways to information like that, it can hurt us more than, strangers who, I encounter on the street. I don't pester my sisters right now about veganism because, I don't know. I don't have the bandwidth, as much as I do advocation like to everywhere else and everywhere else.
And you're still bringing your full self.
And yes, right. Like I'm still unapologetically vegan in front of them. So no, I don't show up to events where there's animals being eaten, and no, I don't accept any accessories or jewelry that use animal product, right? But I pick and choose my battles with family because I'm going to be in their life for the rest of their life, hopefully. So with family, you have kind of time to change that relationship before, or nurture that into their relationship before you're trying to like preach to them, and maybe they don't enjoy your company as much. But yeah.
Hello to the chat. Everyone who's here, wow, almost 20 people here. Keep double tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live. If you have a favorite liberation-oriented, social justice-oriented, or vegan-oriented chat, be sure to paste the link to the live there so that we can have more people in the room having this conversation with us. Hi, Jason. It's great to see the vegans here. Hi, Spooky. I see you. Spooky says, look up crop deaths. It's a pro-vegan argument. Yeah, because it requires fewer crops to support a plant-based food system. We can actually reduce overall crop deaths by transitioning to a plant-only food system.
Why'd you say hi to Spooky? I just wanted to say hi too. Hi!
To anybody who's curious, we are here in Vancouver, Washington. We are in Washington State today, and it's a beautiful day. And we're asking folks in the chat as well as in person about animal ethics. We're asking, is it justified? Is it fair for humans to exploit other animals as resources when we could instead relate to other animals as individuals with bodily autonomy of their own? What's more justified? To take life when we don't need to, or to respect the individuality of other animals when we have that option? Let me know in the chat. I want to ask everyone to keep double tapping that screen. I'm going to ask the vegans to put a 1 in the chat. Vegans put a 1. Non-vegans who are curious put a 2. And trolls and anti-vegans put a 3, or whatever else you're wanting to put. Somebody says, Flat Earth Frank, a little concerning, says, have you changed anyone's mind so far? We're actually not here to change minds. We're here to reflect with folks about their own principles and ask them if it's consistent with their own values to exploit other animals, to treat them as objects to be used when we don't need to, when we live in a world with an abundance of other options. So we're not necessarily here to change minds. We're here to ask people if they should consistently extend the respect that they have for their companions at home, if we should extend that respect to all earthlings that we share this planet with, including animals used for food or clothing or entertainment or testing.
Hello, VegTex. Hello, Earthical Herbivore. Hello, Jason.
Hello to all the vegans. Somebody says, I'm not vegan, but I said when I was being that, I do have a vegan friend. Okay. What's the relevance of your vegan friend? I want to hear more about this. Leave another message in the chat. It's great to have everyone here. Keep double tapping that screen. For anyone curious, we're in Vancouver, Washington on the waterfront doing interviews about animal liberation. We're asking, is it fair for humans to oppress other animals, to use them as resources when we don't need to? Would it be more in line with a social justice paradigm, a social justice framework of opposing patriarchy and capitalism in the state? Would it be more in alignment with that to also oppose the oppression of our animal relatives and the use of them, the exploitation of their bodies and for secretions and any other reason?
Yeah. Why were they vegan?
Somebody says, I had the skateboard. My phone is just whack. Oh, Cameron. Oh, I see. It's you. Thank you for joining the live. It's great to have you here to keep thinking about these topics. To anybody who isn't curious non-vegan, I want to ask you, what would justify treating other animals as objects to be used? What would justify exploiting them for food, clothing, entertainment, testing, or any other purpose? What would be the justification for that violence?
Canine says that they are not completely vegan, but they do believe in better animal treatments. It makes me want to ask, that statement, or I guess it's informing you of that statement, like saying, I'm not completely vegan, if you're aware that veganism is the ethical stance that being against all exploitation of sentient beings, you're basically just saying I'm not completely against the exploitation of all sentient beings, right? So I would just like to hear like the situations in which, from you, like, or in your opinion, that exploitation is justified.
This lady with the 2 louds is driving me nuts.
Dragging them?
Someone says, yes, many traditional sunglasses can contain animal-derived products, although this is often not immediately obvious. I mean, yeah, the whole point of what we do, right, is educating people about animals' status, right, as, objects in this world, and how we are consistently overlooking their oppression, and in times like sidestepping their oppression in order to make room for human liberation. No, I don't. While we at the same time ignore that fact that human liberation and animal liberation is all intertwined, and it's all mixed up together, because these hierarchical systems are unfortunately all also intertwined and hell-bent on benefiting off of each other until we all perish, really, starting with millions and trillions of animals. It says, I hope you know this ain't getting girls, and the ones you are getting, I'm not so sure they're girls. I mean, why don't you start a business instead of doing this? I'm not interested in making money. I'm interested in speaking for animals. And, if this was my method of getting people to come, of sourcing dating material or dating, practice or whatever, like getting, like, it's just not, I don't know. Hopefully we'd be looking for vegan people, right? I myself am a gender abolitionist, so I don't care about gender. I don't care about any of that. I just think that people are people, and they should be treated as individual people, and, that extends to animals, right? Their individualism matters. It says, if everyone became vegan, cows, pigs, and chickens would become extinct. I mean, that's like saying at some point in time, if humans are going to go extinct, so we should make sure that people are still having children and breeding, whether they like it or not, right? For the health of the species. There's no benefit to breeding people or keeping a species alive if their individual quality of life and like living conditions are so terrible that they're not being taken into account at all. In what way, I guess I want to ask, in no way affiliated, in what way does a vegan lifestyle mean that we don't want to respect other people's lifestyles or opinions, right? Because what we do is we actually feel that a lot of people have the same moral ground and moral argument or moral philosophy in life. And so that, if we believe that animals shouldn't be abused, that should extend to every animal.
Hello to everybody who's here. We are in Vancouver, Washington on the waterfront. For those who are curious, keep double tapping the screen and liking the live. Share it to your favorite chats as well. We want to have a big conversation. Somebody says, is it possible for me to go fully vegan in my family situation? What does that mean? What does it mean to not be able to go fully vegan? It's a principle, it's a mindset that you hold against the exploitation of others. So everybody has access to that.
Mm-hmm.
They say they believe in using animal resources, but they should be treated respectfully in that regard. So if we could choose between using animals nicely, between using them meanly, or making them suffer, or not using them at all, what's most in the interests of our animal relatives? We're positing that they would prefer to not be used at all.
And so if you know that they don't want to be used at all, like yourself wouldn't want to be used at all, the only moral step after that is going to be maybe going on a plant-based diet, figuring out what that looks like for you. If it's not something that you can do because you go to a dietitian or whatever, or a doctor, whoever, they say that, maybe not a doctor because they're not actually, specialized in that, right? So you want a nutritionist, a dietitian who can, help you, and, you inform them that you want to be that you are vegan, right? So you are against the exploitation of animals. Therefore, you want to be on a plant-based diet. They'll help you figure out everything you need. But if they say that you can't, right? For some reason, you're like one human who can't, just live off a whole food plant-based diet or whatever. You would still be vegan. You just unfortunately are making some tragic choices along the way. Although like if I was vegan, I probably still wouldn't. Or if I'm vegan and somebody told me, a dietitian or a nutritionist, right, told me like, oh, your nutrient, or hey, your diet's actually lacking and you're gonna die unless you start eating animals, I still would not. I would rather. Oh wow! And there's a transport truck from Foster Farms Kelso. It's 621. And it's traveling north up to the facility right now. That's crazy. We just saw it past on the bridge. That's hundreds of birds on that one truck, going to meet their terrible fate of death that humans and we've just put upon them. It's terrible. Oh, bye, Cameron. It was fun chatting. Yes, thank you for coming and stopping by. That was great. Let's see. Someone says, I don't know. Oh, I see that. That's old comments. You say, I don't see the wrong of using animal resources, but I do see the wrong in disrespecting your game or livestock. I guess that's where I get confused because, right, so you do care about disrespecting them, and that tells me that you are aware that they have feelings, right? Or that there's something morally wrong with like unnecessarily harming them. And so what it leads me to say is like, or think about, is how using animal resources or animals as resources, right, is inherently wrong because it's all unnecessary. Like there literally is not a single reason that we need animals. And we need to use them or abuse them in any situation.
You doing all right?
Someone says, yeah. Someone says, do you believe being vegan should be mandated? I think it should be, maybe. I mean, you
need the people behind it. Otherwise, they'll just treat
yeah.
like alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? Prohibition.
I mean, right now, if you frame it, it's like, okay, do you think being on a plant-based diet should be mandated? I would probably say no, just because I don't really know every single person's situation, and to say that would be pretty extreme, whatever. But veganism takes nothing. Veganism literally takes an idea in your head to change.
What would it mean to mandate feminism? Yes, we should establish women's liberation and the liberation from patriarchy and liberation for queer folks and trans folks, but we shouldn't mandate. What would that even mean? I'm not sure. Write another comment in the chat to keep the engagement and explain further.
Should anti-racism be mandated? You cannot, you can't be not anti-racist. I mean, yes, but how would you go about implementing that? I think the best way would honestly just be informing everybody immediately. There's no point in, in my childhood where I was questioning animal use because it was kind of gross and I didn't really know where food came from, and that it was these body parts from these animals and these animal relatives, right? And so if people were just at least given that, information, knowing that what happens to these animals, the scale of the intense horror that they go through, the fact that it's all unnecessary. If somebody told me it was unnecessary but animals are dying when I was little, I totally would have just chosen, at least I believe myself to have I would have chosen to not use animals way earlier on. So do I think it should be mandated? Yeah, probably. Do I know how that would look? No. Am I interested in talking about it though? Yes. Moving towards that world where everybody's vegan? Yes. You use no animal products at all? Yes, I to my knowledge, use no animal products at all. Because, I don't know, leather, it's ridiculous. There's literally no use. I literally can't think of one. Can y'all think of one? Any non-vegans in here? Let me know, because every day we're out here trying to think about reasons or justifications or hearing them from strangers, and they're always the same justifications, and they always never hold up. So, hello, Daniel. Hello. I hope you all have had a great day. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed some sun. Hopefully, it's sunny. I don't know how far y'all are at. Yeah. Shoes, belt. Yeah, no, I don't use any leather gloves. I don't have it. Always, I check the materials. Vegans check the materials typically of the things that they use, right? So they make sure that there's no animal products or exploitation if they can. It's possible and practicable. So, as soon as they find out, like if I did have gloves that unknowingly had leather, like I would just stop using them or throw them away as soon as I found out, because I'd be grossed out. Like I had somebody's skin all over my hands for however long I was using them, but yeah. You said, I view the disrespect of livestock as the difference between high standards of husbandry versus low standards and mistreatment. I guess the biggest difference is viewing livestock as being bred for food.
We're live on YouTube.
I guess I'm confused a little bit, just because if you really view them as individuals, you can't be okay with any standard of disrespect, right? And so
Turn it over here.
it says, so no kill animals. Yeah, no killing animals.
Okay, let's go.
All right, perfect. We'll just stand over here. These boxes.
Yeah, I guess I'll make sure you're lined up.
Thank you.
That way a little bit.
Oh, okay, right here. Perfect. All right. So, will you flip your sign? Okay. So, just as a baseline question, or first, let me introduce myself. I'm Elvin.
I'm Stan.
Nice to meet you. This is
What's the page called?
It's called Total Liberation Now.
Okay.
We're for decolonizing a lot of hierarchical systems that are in place today.
I had to make sure I'm in the camera.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
you're
in
good.
okay, I'm in
Oh
the
yeah,
back, sir.
you're
Don't
in.
tripping.
No worries. Okay, so the first question is gonna pretty general. It just asks, should the powerful, or do you feel that should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
It wouldn't matter, because the only reason why people are powerful is because people give them power.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, so if you didn't pay attention to them, they wouldn't be shit.
I agree. A lot of the cases that is the case. Do you feel like just because they're in that position, though, like they have the right to oppress the people who are now have less power than them?
I mean, I think people who I don't know if you think people are powerful, who you would call powerful, they're only powerful because you think they are.
Yeah, it's like I guess like capitalistic power.
You mean like
specifically.
rich people?
Yeah, like rich people, or I don't know, say people with connections to like stuff like that, or just like even in a
that
situation,
would make them not powerful, right? If they have, like, if you want to oppress anybody, they'll make you powerless. You know what I'm saying? If you was like uplifting, that'll make you powerful.
Yeah.
But your question, the right.
Yeah, like he's stronger than her, or physically looking, and she's smarter than him. Looks like it from an arbitrary test. Does that make it so that they have the right to oppress you?
That does not give you the right.
Perfect.
Constitutional wise, you got the right to do what you want to do, like mentally, but mentally, no, that does not make it right.
Well, and then we all would you also agree that like legality doesn't equal morality? Like just because something's legal, it doesn't mean like it's the right thing to do.
Right. Or illegal, right? Yeah, you're right. No, I don't think that.
Right.
So like, say the right to defend yourself.
Right.
Some people, the law is some laws like you don't have the right to defend yourself. Say if someone breaking your home in certain states, you don't have the right to defend yourself. Like if you say smack them people, you'll still face the penalty.
Yeah. Right.
But no, I do not think. No, the powerful
should not have the right.
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't have the right to oppress the powerless.
All right.
You know, that suck.
And so when I ask you, or when you think of the word oppression, what comes to mind specifically?
I never even thought about that, to be honest.
Any struggles, like maybe in history, or
you mean like someone talking down on the poor, well, like a rich person talking negatively about
That counts. Yeah.
I'm listening to your example.
Yeah, that counts totally. Just like anything that where somebody is treating someone else
No, I don't
unfairly for a
like that.
long period
I've
of
never
time.
been that type of person to agree with that. I'm the person to stand with the powerless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm actually late.
Oh no.
I gotta get ready for the Michael
Okay.
Jackson movie.
Oh, no worries.
Nice to meet you. You said
Can
your
I
name
ask
was
maybe one more
yeah,
question?
yeah.
Okay, so what we're getting at here is that oppression is all really intertwined, right? We have constructs created that are like white, black, and animal, right? So we're asking people about their relationships with that word animal itself, because when we see animals, or think of an animal, right, or animalizing humans, it's normally used as a way to dehumanize them, right, or take their power away. Like they'll depict black people as gorillas to take away their power, right?
I guess.
So what we're getting at is if we start to ignore, right, or dismantle this hierarchy.
Well, in order to ignore that type of racial slur, you will have to understand the white culture or anybody that's animalizing humans, or you know what I'm saying. You will have to understand why they're doing that.
Yeah.
White culture, for them to say you're a monkey or you gotta understand they're sad. And that's their game of having fun, because you gotta understand white people really are not funny.
Well, and as it takes power away from you, it inherently gives them a little bit more.
Yeah. First of all, I love white people. I love white people. That's the reason why I know this. It's all fun and jokes, but if you let things get to you like oppression, say a powerful person talking down to a non-powerful person, that's you letting them aggravate you or annoy you. You should never let anyone make you feel not, unlike yourself.
Yeah,
because if you're a happy person, you should stay happy, regardless of what somebody says about you. Like, shit, I mean, damn, you know what I'm saying? You should be like, come to your senses and be like, that person just feeling some type of way. May God bless them, hope they feel better. You know what I'm saying? But you should learn you should learn to love yourself. Once you love yourself, you'll never feel oppressed in your life. Some occasions, I feel like the only powerful people in the world is like CIA, the FBI, and police officers. Like a force of people like that dictate laws and carry out laws. A regular person, no, they're not powerful. Only God is powerful.
Well, I mean, like if so say right now there are trillions of, because I guess what I want to say was that I was getting at is that binary, right, the animal human binary, or like white black binaries, like these are all hierarchies of system, like system set up where some people are worth more than others, like humans are worth more than animals.
Okay.
What we're getting at is that humans are animals, right? And so if we're really thinking about it, right, we can see back in time as colonization rose, so did as colonization rose, our connections with animals as kin, especially black people or indigenous people of color in general, as they're being carted away from their homelands and their native, like literally their native habitats, right, or places they would frequent. They're getting removed from the idea of like homeliness to those animals, as well as they're being introduced to this colonization mindset, right, of some people are property, capital is the most important thing, right, and that animals are here for our use, right. Those it's like one of their main things is that like
most definitely.
We use whatever we can to manifest our destiny all over the place.
That's good.
And so but what we'll see is like these connections now that we have are so damaged that like right now we're breeding like millions upon trillions of animals into existence just to slaughter, like for food or entertainment, or stuff like that. And so what we're asking people is are they willing to reconnect with animals in a different way that sees these animals more like us, right? Because we
I know, right?
we've been so disconnected from them.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, and so like right now, what we found out is in 2026 we have so many options as for food that we actually don't need animal use at all. Whether it's for like protein or nutrients, like we found so many ways to get these now.
Yeah, to slaughter animals for food, that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, give praise to God.
Like under necessity, though.
Yeah, for a necessity. But I know what you probably talking about, like for skin.
Well, just anything. Like we don't like just like how so like how they used black people for stuff. Like they used them for furniture. They would use their hair to stuff pillows, stuff like that, and funny. Leather couches. Right? They use it. They do the same thing. They did the same thing with cows and animals, and they
horses,
still do. Right?
Yeah.
So what we're saying is the same justifications that people use for using animals, they would use for us back in the day, or even now in some certain countries, right? So we're saying if we're living in alignment with our morals consistently every day, staying conscious and like grateful for like that awareness, right? We have to oppose those injustices too for our animals, like our animal kin, because it's only a matter of time, right,
before everything is extinct,
right? And especially right now, as colonization is going up and white supremacy is going up, like you see these, this dairy forward, this meat forward, like system.
I'm not going to lie. Only place in the world white supremacy is going up in is northern states. In the South, that shit don't exist, dude. To be honest with you, I'm from Louisiana. White people don't disrespect black people in the South.
Yeah, well,
what the same thing you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
is what we stand for.
Mm-hmm.
The past and our culture.
Yeah.
That's where our pride is strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Up here, we're separated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not that many of us. Like
Yeah.
you said, trillions. Numbers mean that's the reason why they're powerful, because it's a million. It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? We're separated because, like you said, we are away from our blood and our heritage and our culture and our family. So we're gonna be weak. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, you know what I'm saying? We're only powerful when we're right here together.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I definitely have to go.
No worries. Yes, totally.
Hey.
Let me give you this card too. It just shows some resources, and there's a documentary
meet
on
you.
there too.
All right.
Show, like,
You guys
standard
have a nice
practice.
day.
Have a great day. Okay, he didn't have much time, but it was still good, I think. Oh, that's okay.
It's your channel.
We'll talk
You
to
guys do
him.
what you want.
Okay. Let me scroll a little bit back up. Honestly, I did kind of wait too long, but it's just like because I don't know. Sometimes people people seem like they'll have a lot of time, but then they I don't know, they don't really have a lot of time. So I think the path that I try to take people on sometimes takes a little bit to get there, because I don't want to overload them or make them feel like I'm trying to preach to them too much, right? But as soon as I find out that they don't have time, like I try to hit every point as possible. I'm like, and here's how it connects to this, because I know you'll be interested in that. I try to think of different ways that I can get them thinking about it after they walk away, because I know I don't have much time with them here. And honestly, what I would appreciate is if they all, reach out after. They'd be like, hey.
I saw them say that guy's going vegan in the chat. They're like, that guy's going vegan.
Maybe.
Hello to the chat. It's great to have all of y'all here. Please keep double tapping that screen. Please share the live. Share it to your favorite chat with your friends if they're interested in watching some vegan outreach and total liberation outreach. Hello to Sabby. I see you, Spooky. Excuse me. It's great to have you here. Axel's already started it up. He's put a 1 because Axel's a vegan. That's great to have you here. I'm going to have vegans, as Axel did, follow Axel's lead. Put a 1 in the chat. Vegans, put a 1. Non-vegans who are open-minded, put a 2. And the trolls and the anti-vegans, you can put a 3 or any other number. It's great to have everybody here. Somebody says, I agree with the vegan respect for animals. Coming from a farming family, we regard our chickens very highly, although we do harvest them. I'm against low agricultural standards. It's like an exchange. So it's not a consensual exchange when you use birds for their flesh, because they didn't consent to that process. So is it possible to respect birds when we needlessly use them for their bodies, when we treat them as a resource, when we had the opportunity, when we had another option to treat them as an individual and respect them? Is it possible to respect somebody? Is it possible to respect a bird? when we're killing them when we don't need to. Does that sound like respect? Could it be respectful to kill a dog when we don't need to, do you think? Everybody who's here, keep double tapping that live. Keep double tapping and liking. Share it as well. Somebody says, I'll be a troll.
Sure, where's it going?
Let's see. We may have somebody who wants to do an interview.
Okay, sure, yeah.
It's great to see it. All right. I'll do an interview. All right. We go over here. We have somebody who wants to do an interview. It's always great to meet open-minded people. All right. What's your name?
My name's Elias.
Elias.
What's your name?
I'm Cooper.
Cooper, nice to meet you, man.
We're here talking about animals.
Okay.
How do you feel about animals?
You know, so I grew up on Sylvie Island. Are you aware of Sylvie Island?
Sylvie Island?
Sylvie Island.
Is it called Sylvie?
Savi's.
I think I might
Goes
have
by both.
mispronounced it my whole life.
So I grew up on 6 acres. So when I was young, running around, interacting with a lot of little creatures, little critters, and so I would consider myself, I love animals, not to the point where I would consider myself necessarily like an animal lover as a defining trait. My girlfriend over there, she might be a better candidate. She's vegan, so she is a big animal lover, but we have a little rabbit at our house right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's a little bit about my experience.
No, I hear you. With your time with the rabbit at home and with maybe other animal companions like dogs or cats, what does it teach you about the feelings that animals have?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I mean, I think me and my girlfriend have kind of a running joke where like she'll like refer to our bunny as like having thoughts almost as if he's a human, and I kind of don't feel the same way. However, I do recognize that there is like a level of consciousness, I think, that
it's not an advanced language like maybe the one that you and I are speaking, but they have their own type of language. Might be a little bit simpler, but would you say they still have feelings?
I would say I would say maybe not like as complex, like in terms of relation to different like memories and like, I mean, animals can hold trauma, but I think like in the human brain, there's in the cortex, like there's such a level of intricacy that maybe animals don't have. Not saying that
maybe
it's
they
like
can't
less
be
than.
the trauma might be less complex. Another way to think about it, another angle I've considered it from is we can usually as humans rationalize our pain away. We can tell ourselves this is probably temporary. I can probably go to the doctor. I can probably get some sort of fix. But other animals might not have the intelligence or the ability to rationalize it, so they might be feeling that pain and it may seem like it's never going to stop, and they might not have any hope to medicate themselves. So in some way, I think animals may suffer more than humans, even though humans are animals as well. I mean, like other animals may suffer more than humans. But I could see it going both ways. Would you agree with me that in their way, it might be a little bit simpler or less complex than you and I, but would you agree that animals like bunnies or dogs or cats, that they can suffer?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think they can suffer. That's interesting. I've never exactly considered it from that perspective.
Yeah, I heard someone talk about it recently, and I was like, that makes sense, I think.
Could you repeat like what you said, just like summarized version again?
Yeah, so other animals that are not human may not have the intellectual ability to rationalize their pain. They might not be able to understand that it's temporary. Like with me, I hit my knee and I'm like, oh, it's going to heal in a few weeks. I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it in an hour.
Yeah.
They don't have access to medicine. They don't have access to the knowledge that it's temporary. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's also somewhat of a guess in the same way in the other direction. Like we don't really know how animals are able to rationalize or not.
Yeah, we're not for certain.
I would say the way that like when you're talking, the way that something I thought about was like, I feel like a lot of the pain that humans experience can be more like metaphysical and
right, there's
emotional.
like existential dread.
Exactly,
yeah, so there's definitely things that
so
complicate
maybe
it. Yeah.
Animals don't experience as much of that level, but
we experience maybe different kinds in different ways and in different intensities.
Sure.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that distinguishes, say, a rabbit or a dog from a fish or a pig in their ability to have feelings and to suffer?
I honestly wouldn't know. Like,
You're
I'm
not
not.
sure.
I think you'd have to talk to someone who knows more. Like, I wouldn't be able to give you a yes or no answer or feel confident because I haven't
Right.
like.
I wonder, like, do
looked
you
into
imagine
that
if,
stuff.
like, there's a pig walking by, if you or I were maybe to accidentally step on their foot,
Yeah.
you imagine they would experience some type of suffering. Maybe if it was really lightly, they might not notice. But if we stepped on their foot, you know, do you think they would suffer? Do you think they have the ability, like the dog or the rabbit, to experience something negatively and to suffer? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Do you think, as people who live in 2026, do you think there's anything we need from other animals for clothing or food or entertainment? Or do we have another option today?
I mean, ultimately, most of the like industries that you're speaking about are kind of based on long-standing integration with like the government in terms of lobbying.
There's a lot of power
and-
behind the industries.
I think so. Yeah, I think that.
Do you think you or I, do you think we need anything from, say, other animals for our clothing or our food? Or do we have an alternative, you and I?
I mean, in this day and age, I would say, especially living here, like in Portland
Right.
or in Vancouver, where you have a lot of options. Yeah, I think like that there is less need to produce, goods from animals, which
Right.
would lower animal suffering, I do think. And
Do you think if we know, for instance, that like the pig or the cow or the fish, if we know they suffer and we're realizing that there are other ways to nourish ourselves or to entertain ourselves or clothe ourselves, if we have an alternative and they suffer, could it be fair or justified to continue exploiting them?
I mean, if I
What do you think?
if I dig deep into my morals, like I would agree that we don't as people need to do that,
Do you think we should if we don't need to? If we have another option, we don't need to contribute to that cycle of violence against our animals that we share this planet with. Do you think that we should not contribute if we can?
I mean, yeah, like I do. And it's,
Yeah.
I see the like I'm somewhat of a hypocrite myself, and I see
What do you
that.
mean?
I mean, I eat meat. I love meat. I enjoy it. I try and, when I have the means to, consume it ethically as you
Right.
can.
Right, if
which,
you don't need to eat the animal, do you think it could be ethical to eat them, even if they were treated nicely? Do you think it's ethical to kill an animal to eat them if they were treated nicely, if you didn't need to? Could I do
guess
that to
I
a
guess
dog,
it
do you think?
depends. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of like what is a need, and I don't think that there is a black and white answer. Like, I don't know, like
Do you think if
think
you
that-
wanted to, could you get all the nutrients you needed to thrive at the grocery store? Do you think you could get everything you needed from plants only?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I think we all could.
Yeah, I think there's edge cases. Maybe somebody has an extreme health condition, or maybe there are some people who are homeless and they don't have any money. They don't shop at the grocery store and they're kind of taking what they get. But do you think if we have another choice, should more animals enter a slaughterhouse for us when they don't need to? What do you think?
I mean, no. I mean, ideally, no. Yeah.
So I know you said your partner or your girlfriend is vegan. What do you think veganism means?
I mean, I don't think it means one thing. Same with feminism. Same with any kind of
But you lump
movement.
those together. I see so many people who wouldn't do that. Why do you call feminism and veganism? Why are they in the same breath to you? I think they are. I just want to get at why do you?
No,
think-
yeah. That's a good question. I think it's ultimately like movements towards reducing suffering and equalizing the playing field. And I think that the reason that veganism is often seen maybe differently than feminism is because, and I've even advocated for this myself, but in the past and in my life sometimes, of because animals are quote unquote less intelligent, then it doesn't mean as much. Maybe their suffering doesn't mean as much.
You believed that before.
I mean, I wouldn't say I've ever been 100% in my beliefs. I mean, I'm lucky I grew up that way with a family where we could discuss things and have conversation. And
You're an open-minded person.
to an extent.
You sound open-minded.
Thanks. There are some things I'm not open-minded
Oh
against,
yeah, I'm with
obviously.
you. I'm not open-minded about fascism.
Exactly. But yeah, so
I wonder what would stop you from saying, I know these animals suffer, I know they feel pain, and I know I don't need to use them. What would stop you from joining your girlfriend and saying, I want to stand against this injustice too, along with standing against injustices towards women and queer folks and trans folks and so on and so forth? Why not integrate it into what we practice here? We call it a total liberationist ethic, where we're just trying to oppose all of these injustices consistently. I wonder what would stop you from joining your girlfriend?
I mean, I think it's, you know, it's interesting because I've gone kind of both like extremes of that question where I'm like, and it is something I've been thinking about, you know, like why don't I do it? And I've gone to both directions of like, okay, I should just try it, or the other direction of like, okay, if this is something I think that is okay, like I should go out and actually like hunt and kill an animal myself and see if I can do that myself, you know.
I wonder, let's say you were able to. You maybe went out into the forest and you were able to psychologically pull the trigger. Like you were questioning it and then you figured out, oh, I could. Would it be fair to pull the trigger, knowing that the animal's going to die, they're going to be killed, if you got your rest of your food at the grocery store every other day of the week, when you could have picked a plant option that day as well?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like even if somebody could muster the ability to do it, do you think it's fair from the animal's perspective?
That's like someone's ability to do something is not equate to morality, you know. I see what you're saying. And I guess that makes me think about kind of like when we look at
what we should do with our power.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the environment now and how many species we have that aren't actually a part of the ecosystem or are kind of destructive towards the ecosystem, I guess I would pose the question back to you of like, I see where you're coming from, and I agree with a lot of the points that you make, and it's something I struggle with as well conceptually of like, I am someone who's for liberation of suffering for many groups of people who have less power than me, and why don't I include this animal? That is a question I ask myself. And also like,
well,
you know,
what's your answer, do you think? What stops you from extending that liberatory scope to not just humans, to all earthlings that we share the planet with?
Yeah.
What would stop you, do you think?
I think it's the same, like, maybe not the same, but I feel like it's a similar way that I see, like, maybe this is a flawed logic. I'm sure there is flaws in it, but...
We can talk about it.
Yeah, but I think that's the same reason, like, you know, when people argue against socialism or collective workers' rights, one of the arguments is like, oh, well, like, you own an iPhone, or you own, like, you know, you're wearing clothing that probably took all these gallons of water, and so am I, and, like, we're all contributing to this society.
Kind of like an idea that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism? Is that what you're getting at?
I think... Sure, that's a tidy way of putting it, you know?
Yeah. It's a big argument, and it's kind of trying to wrap it up in a neat little bow. I hear you.
So maybe there's a way...
Do you think there's a difference?
Like a cognitive dissonance for myself in a way of like...
Yeah. Do you think there's a difference between like, maybe I have to... sometimes I purchase a phone which contributes to somebody being hyper exploited, but I need a phone in this society, and I don't have an option to pick a phone which I can tell was not using.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get a secondhand one. That's what I'm considering for my next phone, which kind of like minimizes that a little bit. But with other animals, we have a choice. It's not like the supply chain is so murky that there isn't a distinction. Like we can choose to contribute to them being used as an object, or we can oppose it and choose to make another choice. So like within electronics or within other forms of consumption, we don't always have that alternative. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I definitely...
We should create those alternatives, though.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in disagreement there. Like, that's the ultimate goal, right? But yeah, I see what you're saying, and like, I think that your argument is super logical. I think that like, ultimately, people decide to eat meat because of an emotional thing. It's not.
It's like they were raised. They were raised with it. And it's kind of a habit.
That's my family. Like, you know, my mom, for 25 years ran an organic vegetable farm. Like we had so many vegetables, and we also ate meat because like, and most of the people in my life, my mom, my dad, everyone has experimented and spent many decades being vegetarian or vegan, even for many, 5, 6, 10 years or whatever. So I have a lot of those people who have done that around me, but then when I was born and growing up, they had already gone back to eating meat. So I think that's kind of like...
You didn't grow up seeing a lot of the plant-based eating, maybe?
I grew up eating, maybe not just strictly plant. Like, we would have meat with every meal, as well as the vegetables that my mom grew from her farm, you know? But, I mean, you're not wrong that it's like, there is no ethical consumption in a way.
That it does feel like this big problem. And there's so many people that walk by that aren't open-minded like you, that aren't also against all these other forms of oppression. A harder question I want to ask you, if people who know the animals suffer and who know that they have another option, if they don't make the switch or the change, compassionate people like yourself, who know, because like so many people I can't reach because maybe they're racist, they're just beyond the pale. But if people like us don't change, who is going to do it?
Yeah. I mean...
And if we don't make that change soon, why not? What would justify continuing to put these animals in a position that you or I wouldn't want to be in?
Yeah.
When we have another choice?
I mean, I don't think that, based on my moral structures, I don't think that I do have, a logical argument, it's more at the end of the day, it's I like eating meat, I enjoy it, and it's really hard to change your habits.
You get a lot of enjoyment from those meals, right?
Yeah, I do. I like it. We went out to we just celebrated our 3 years, and
congrats.
Thank you. And I took her out to a super nice vegan place.
Oh, I love that.
In Portland.
What's it called?
It was called Jada Rabbit.
Jada Rabbit. I've heard of that one.
And it was,
some of the fancy restaurants are hard for me. It's a little bit too fancy.
I mean, I remember kind of thinking okay, wow, this is really expensive. And then also at the end of the meal, I was like, it was good, but it would have been better if the fake meat had been replaced by real meat. I was I would have enjoyed this more.
You'd have gotten more pleasure if it was animal flesh.
And
do you think that when we think about ethics and how we should treat other animals, do you think gaining pleasure, is that a good enough reason to use them and kill them? If we have another option, it's not for our nourishment. If it's just about our pleasure and we get pleasure from using them and killing them, is that enough to justify the violence and the use, do you think?
I mean, ultimately, no.
When you reflect and you consider how many more animals in the future you would prefer enter a slaughterhouse for you, is it more than 0?
I think I don't.
Maybe you're kind of in your habits and there might be more animals that enter the slaughterhouse, but how many would you want to enter a slaughterhouse for you?
In an ideal world.
Yeah, how many would you want?
I mean,
is it more than 0?
I've never thought about that question. That's a good question. Ideally no, and ideally
0. Yeah.
There are ideally.
Do you think going vegan would get you closest to that goal of having 0 animals being used for you?
Ultimately, yes, and also
it won't solve the whole problem.
There are a lot of points of suffering that I encounter in my life, and if I'm being honest, that specific point right now isn't on the highest. Hasn't been on my highest priority. You
haven't thought about it or reflected much on it yet, but today could be the start.
That's not necessarily true. I think I've thought about it. I think that, like I said, I've thought about going vegan. I'm why? Realistically, why don't I do this? And I think that there is the element of, I think parts of it I can recognize and be truthful that part of it is somewhat cognitive dissonance of okay, I don't have to kill the animal. I roll up to the grocery store. The animal's already dead. I'm well, buying this doesn't necessarily...
Do you think it increases the number of animals that are bred into existence, used, and killed for your demand?
I mean, of course.
Because, as I was saying,
put the money is where the market continues to fund itself in a certain way. And
there's also, so many people that walk by and there's going to be animals used for her probably and her as well. But do we want them used for you and I? Because we can't base I don't think we should base our ethical opinions on the actions of the many,
Mm-hmm.
because there's been a time when Nazi rhetoric was more popular, and a lot of people believed it, but it was still abhorrent,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think that. I mean,
Do you think you and I should
you're right.
contribute to it?
I mean, ideally, no.
Can I leave you with a resource card that shows some of what happens in farms and slaughterhouses, as well as some recipes, just for some food for thought? Knowledge is
Yeah.
power. Would you be
Yeah.
open to that?
I would. I
Okay.
would also wonder if I have a couple questions for you.
Oh, yes, please.
So I guess we've kind of been discussing the idea of like exploitation versus like death itself. And I'm wondering, like, in my own kind of thoughts around this and mulling around this, like, I've thought about also other things, like, what about people? I guess I've looked into hunting and what that means, and like when I was struggling with those things, I'm like, okay, maybe I should like go out, like I said, and see if I have the ability to kill an animal, and only then would I eat that,
I remember you said that having the ability to oppress somebody or to take their life, does that make it okay though? Do you think might makes right? Just because we can shoot an animal, do you think we should if we don't need to shoot them?
I mean, not necessarily. I also wonder, like, what you think of, like, people preventing animals who are destroying certain habitats, like deer. Like
deer, yeah.
A lot of people go out and hunt deer, and from one perspective or one argument, that could be ethical, because deer are super overpopulated
lot
and
of them,
destroying a lot of natural habitats. Like, what is the alternative in your mind to that?
Right.
Kind of dealing with invasive kind of species, and not saying that this disregards your whole argument. I've already
I hear you.
but
I want to ask: have you reflected why, for instance, the deer are so overpopulated?
I mean, I assume it's just because of humans. Ultimately, like, it's like
You guessed right.
we're the root of most natural destruction.
You guessed right. So we've, as humans, killed off most of the natural predators of deer so that they don't come and kill farm animals. So it's kind of a mess that we've created where there's this big abundance of deer. So I would posit that we should clean up our mess compassionately, so we can do things like
what does that
spread
look
contraceptive in those deer communities, so they aren't able to just explode in population, but they still get to live out their life and not suffer and be used. Do you think that would be a better alternative to shooting them? Would it be more fair for the deer, do you think?
Let me think. I don't know. I've never thought about that, like contraceptive.
Like they would still be able to like have sex, like they could enjoy whatever they want to do, but they're just not gonna they're just not gonna make babies.
I understand what
and
you're
they're not gonna
saying.
continue this problem that humans started by killing off all the predators. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. It's just, it's not something I've ever thought about before, so I don't want to like conceptualize it a little bit for myself before
It's frequent when like humans see like a problem within ecology, or they see an ecosystem kind of out of balance. Their first reaction is, let's go kill animals to get it in balance. But someone could make the argument that humans have created the most imbalance of any species on the globe. But we've overpopulated, some would even argue. But it wouldn't be acceptable for somebody to come up and harm you or me just because we're part of a species, human, which has maybe overpopulated, definitely caused more misbalance than the deer have, right? It just wouldn't be a good enough reason for you or me. And I want to ask, why would it be good enough for the deer if we don't need to kill them? If we had an alternative to manage that population in such a way that didn't cause them to suffer and be killed, do you think that would be a better alternative? That allows them to live out their life free.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see. I think that I definitely couldn't disagree that there are definitely better alternatives out there that I'm not aware of, and that might be one of them. That definitely could be one of them for sure.
Do you have any other final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I guess what. So I mean, as a white dude from the 21st century who grew up in Portland, I have my own experiences. Like, what would you say to someone if you were like talking to someone who has a much more kind of rich and like land-rooted history in terms of like consuming animal flesh, and has a more like what I would consider like not sacred, because I don't know how much I fully believe in that, like spiritual, but like
my people, for instance, I come from indigenous folks. We're the salmon people, and we have been consuming salmon for a very long time. And certainly the salmon, the fish, is sacred. Like, we consider them a key part of our spirituality, of how we think about the world. But for myself as an indigenous person in the 21st century, I have to ask myself, what does it look like to relate to other animals as my relatives? Because that's what my ancestors told me. Like, they gave me this principle that we relate to animals as relatives and as individuals. And while they may have been in a situation where they needed to use those fish,
we're not in this.
they've kind of had to like go against their principles. They were kind of like pulling as few fish as they could out of the water because they didn't want to kill when they didn't need to. So for me as an indigenous person today, I reclaim those principles. I keep them, I hold on to them, but I implement them differently because I don't need to pull a fish out of the water today. I would much rather watch them swim by and honor their freedom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Like, I appreciate you sharing that. That's really interesting. I guess my last final question would be like, you know, I mentioned earlier, like, it's not just the idea of eating animals. You know, we live in the U.S. high rates of food deserts. Like, the food chain distribution is super fucked. Like, I don't know if I can curse. Like, we just watched Cisco. Didn't they just buy out U.S. foods? Like, our availability,
consolidation,
and option, and the consolidation and kind of.
You're pointing to injustices within the food system that we also oppose at the same moment that we want to switch the food system to a plant-based one.
I guess that would be my question for you, is like, at the end of the day, like, I also would value the livelihood of people in the U.S. who rely on that industry. You know, I don't want to see.
We don't want to see humans suffer.
I don't want to see humans suffer. And at the end of the day, like, I'm going to relate more to my fellow human than an animal. I want to see that. And so what...
Do you think it's fair for an injustice such as using and killing other animals to continue because some people make money off of the process because they make money from the violence?
I mean, ultimately, no. It's just...
There's also like programs. There's called like Transformation. It's a really cool organization that works with those farmers like you're talking about and helps them say, let's transition this chicken shed into a shed where we're going to grow mushrooms instead, so the farmers can have a living. They can be free of the violence and the exploitation, but still support their family. So there's lots of vegans and liberationists who are working in that direction too, because we don't necessarily want to see anybody suffer. It's not our goal.
No, I hear you. That's cool, and I should probably look into that stuff more.
Yeah, it's called Transformation. If you're interested in watching this conversation back ever, it's going to be on a channel called Total Liberation Now.
Okay, cool.
I really appreciated all your time. It's so great to speak to people who are like against fascism. Like, thank you.
No, I gotta represent out here, especially on the Vancouver waterfront.
I really appreciate your open-mindedness too. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
All right.
Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. You too. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Spooky. So great to see all the vegans here in the chat. Let's see. Everybody who's here, keep double tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live. It's so good to have all of you here. I say all of you, it's just a few. We're still getting started at Total Liberation Now. It's a newer channel. I'm going to ask everyone to keep double tapping that screen. Share the live as well. We want to have a big conversation. Somebody says, like extending personhood to animals and extending personhood to that little human in the womb. So the human in the womb is actually, if undesired, they're acting at the expense of the person's body who's carrying that baby. They're actually feeding off the nutrients of that person's body unconsensually. So we do not support restricting bodily autonomy with reference to reproductive care. Thank you all for being here. I want to ask you to put a 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Non-vegans who are open-minded, put a 2. And trolls and anti-vegans, put a 3. It's so great to have everybody who's here. We're here in Vancouver, Washington, for those who are curious. We're on the waterfront. It's beautiful here in Washington State today. The sun is out. It's a perfect temperature. I have a t-shirt on. I'm really grateful to be here. Somebody says, killing babies, okay, you're sick. So a fetus doesn't necessarily equal a baby, and if some other human was feeding off of the nutrients in my body and I didn't want that, if I found that undesirable, I would be entitled to exercise bodily autonomy, or I should be. Somebody says, "What a cowardly answer, Coops." Are you shit talking Spooky? We won't take Spooky slander here. Hello, Spooky. I see you have a 1. Somebody says, "Is that the general stance about abortion and veganism, or more a personal stance?" It's more of a personal stance. I do think veganism is more so aligned with a pro-bodily autonomy position, though I know there are some people who align themselves with veganism while also believing in the restriction of abortion rights. So it's not necessarily in general, but it is my personal belief. It's so great to have people here. You want to talk?
Sure.
I'm tired. Sorry, it's also.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Someone says, "Is that the general stance about abortion and veganism, or more of a personal stance?" I'm not too sure. You'll have to remind me what Cooper says. Yes, you too. Have a great day. Someone says, nobody's really saying anything all that great. Well, I see actually. Oh, wow. Yeah. Somebody being racist? Oh, no. That's not great. Who's saying that dude is not indigenous? You are full of BS. Don't kill animals, but if inconvenient, kill a baby. You people are hypocrites. Who said that? I mean, I typically just leave people's body choices up to themselves. I don't really care what other people do with their bodies. You know, as long as it's not harming somebody else. Someone says, "Just curious. It seems like there could be a significant overlap between veganism and pro-life." I mean, like, abortions are like a medical procedure that happen at the discretion of the person getting them. So I just, like, I don't really know how that even correlates to, like, being anti the exploitation of sentient beings, you know? Someone says, yeah. I mean, we're asking people, is it fair to use animals when we don't need to? If it's completely unnecessary in 2026, what's stopping us from viewing them as, you know, who they are, individuals, instead of objects to be used? They obviously can feel and think and have dreams and have joy and love life, so what's stopping us from giving them the respect they deserve? I feel like there's a piece of my hair sticking up. I'm trying to fix it, but I cannot see it. I guess I don't really care about it. So it's just questions on my mind, not sure how it came up, looking at animals as people, looking at babies in the womb as people. I mean, like, whether I look at them as babies, or babies in the womb as people or not, right? Like, what I say, like, should not have, you know, like, I don't have the right over that person's body, like, whether or not I believe they should keep a baby or not, right? Like, what I say shouldn't just automatically go because of what I believe, so I don't know.
We're just talking about the powerful and the powerless. Would you want to be interviewed on camera?
I mean, like, but are you vegan though? Like, so you can apply that argument to babies, but you're not concerned, right, about the animals. It's kind of interesting. It's like, if you're only bringing that up to negate the fact that you shouldn't use animals, then I'm kind of confused. Like, you want to conflate the two and compare them, right? Like unborn babies to animals, yet you don't care about animals. So I'm just confused. Vegans are not against killing, right? So they're against the exploitation of sentient beings. Not disagreeing or trying to press you, just a curiosity. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm aware of that. I like that you guys just send the ones. Yeah, send a 1 if you're vegan, send a 2 if you're not. You know, if you're curious, press the 3, or if you're a troll, you can just type in 4. It's all right. Or you can leave your reasoning for not being vegan. Veganism is not a diet. Being on a plant-based diet, that is a thing that vegans do. But veganism is a ethical stance against the exploitation of all sentient beings. Someone says, if it was your argument where all animals there are close relatives, as somebody said, so what's the deal? I don't know why we can't acknowledge that and let people do with their bodies what they feel is right.
Running low on battery. We got 40% until we'll have to wrap up.
Okay.
Although we do have another
Can't you just
option.
plug it in?
I'm going to try this option.
I don't know if that works, but... So since babies aren't sentient beings, I mean, I don't know. Like, but even if so, like, who's to decide that, like, they should, you know, I don't know. Like, I guess I just literally don't care. Like, just like an abortion is a medical procedure that, you know, some people with uteruses have to go through. And if they would like to, you know, go through with that, that's literally their choice. Like, I have no say.
I'm going to cut off the audio for a split second.
Okay. I personally don't have a uterus myself, right? But that doesn't mean that, you know. So like I don't know. So I just wouldn't feel comfortable making a statement on like whether or not other people with their uteruses should keep something in there. Like, you know, like I just like it really has nothing to do with veganism. Like veganism is an ethical stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. We're here asking you, like, why do you use animals? What do you use animals for? And what do you think is so necessary about animal use that keeps you having to use them? Calling me a hypocrite, so worried about protecting your leftist ideas that you won't see the absolute hypocrisy in what you're saying. It's literally not hypocrisy, though. Like, say, you know, actually don't. Actually, I'm kind of done. I'm done with the abortion thing. If you can't get over it, like, literally go ask another vegan. There's probably so many that are live, and you can annoy them as well with that same question, because I doubt that you care about any other, I doubt you care about human babies who are born. You know, like, what the fuck? How does it work where you harvest chickens but agree with vegans? Yeah, that's exactly true. Yeah, because okay, I see K9 was the one who's saying that they kind of agree with it, or like not fully vegan. The thing is though, like, you cannot be vegan at all unless you are fully vegan, which is like against the exploitation of all sentient beings. It's not, you know, you can't be a perpetrator and a victim, like, of a system, right? I mean, you can, but it's kind of a nuance. But what I mean is that you're either causing exploitation or you're not. There's no, like, middle line, right? Or you're either for it or you're not for it. There's no, like, middle section where you can be jumping in the center, like, I kind of exploit animals, but I also don't. And I'm kind of for it, but I also am not. You know, it's either you are or you're not. Not to get stuck on it, but my thoughts on it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to, like, have to work through in your brain, right? Like, do you care? Like, should you care? Are these being sentient? Whatever. But it's kind of just confusing to, like, you know, if that's the only thing brought up, and, like, that's all you can say is bringing up abortion, because it's already something that's, I don't know, a little nuanced, I guess, and, you know, confusing to some people, so, like, they may not really know how to talk about it. But in my opinion, I just literally, I don't think it has anything to do with veganism. Let's see. What's our search right here? We got 8 people in here. I think it's all vegans, and Travis and K9.
It's good to have everybody
in
here.
no way affiliated.
And for those who are here, double tap that screen, share the live to your favorite chats, share it to your friends. If you have other vegans who'd like to watch something like this, if you know other social justice oriented folks who want to hear conversations like this, do share the link. I want to ask the non-vegans who are here, who are open-minded, to leave your justification for exploiting other animals in 2026 when we have another option. What would justify needless violence towards our animal relatives?
Like, when you see somebody yanking on the leash of a dog who's on a walk, right? And, like, they're just pulling on it because, like, they're on the walk. They're trying to enjoy their walk. Do you feel like it's right that they're putting their interests above the dog's interests, right? Like what a dog likes to do on a walk is sniff around and smell things. That's how they experience the world, right? It's like through smell and scent. So like they sniff everything, whatever, they take their time. You know, like a human who's walking their dog, and pulling on their leash is showing that they believe, you know, that they knowingly or unknowingly, that their interests are greater than the interests of the animal that they're supposed to be caring for. You know, what we're asking is, do we see that? Do you notice that anywhere else, right? Like in moments of entertainment, like zoos, people put their interests over animals every day, consistently, whether for, you know, entertainment or food, even at that same zoo.
To anybody who's joined more recently and is curious what's going on and where we're at, we are in Vancouver, Washington State today, and we're having conversations about animal liberation. Most folks here in the chat and in general agree that humans should be liberated from systems of oppression. Should we extend and be consistent with that principle to extend it to all of our earthlings who we share this planet with? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you. Yeah, veganism is not about human rights. It's about the rights of animals everywhere, right? Someone saying that you don't, like, your personal outlook on it is the husbandry standards and treating livestock properly. Yes, thank you, Spooky, saying livestock. For fuck's sake, they're individuals, right? And so, like, just in your using that word, right, livestock, treating livestock properly, or I think you used a word earlier, I think it was like game or something like that, right? Those words take away the personhood of each animal, right? Because we can say that we care about animals, we love animals, we want them to thrive, but are we really talking about each individual animal, or are we talking about, you know, their species, or, you know, we love what they do for us, like we love that, you know, we love that we get to look at the cows. Like, do we love that we get to look at the cows, or do we love the cows for who they are as an individual? You know, because if we do, then there's no way to stand by while they are artificially inseminated for milk, or, you know, cheese, or whatever reason, or their babies are taken away. Yes, humans are animals. And so, like, if you agree with respecting animals, and you even to the point of applauding us, right? Like, because, like, I don't care about the applause, right? I don't do this for validation. I simply am out here talking about it because they need to be spoken for. I mean, like, not to say that animals don't literally show resistance in so many situations, right? Like, we see animals who break free from farms, or try to break out of cages, or they are barking or yelping or screaming as they're being slaughtered or taken away, you know, from their loved ones. That itself is them speaking. That is them telling us that they do not want that to happen, if they care about themselves, right? So, but we are out here speaking in English to other people who have power, right? Because we all do have power in our personal choices, right? The big agriculture, mass production, and low standard of treatment is what I'm against. And that is on point with talking about animals as individuals and treating them with high regard. Well, yeah, but when we talk about treatment, right, and we focus on cruelty and, you know, how they're being treated, or the degree of how bad they're being treated, we're not actually talking about veganism, right? We're talking about welfare. We're talking about welfarism, right? So you'd be more considered like a welfarist who's interested in increasing the quality of life that these animals have when they're in those situations. What vegans say is, like, you cannot respect animals if we're allowing them to be put in those situations in the first place, right? Like, we cannot say that we respect animals while we allow them to be treated like objects, or we put them in situations that you know, reduce their personhood. especially when it comes to, for our benefit or being for our benefit, or and especially when that benefit is unnecessary, right? Like, we don't need cheese, we don't need milk, we don't need animal byproducts to survive, we don't need leather, we don't need anything from them, right? So this whole, like, the big farm, like, it's just as bad as on a small farm, right? A small farm that, to your idea, like, takes care of its animals, or even mine, what it would seem like taking care of the animals to their best extent, right? Which would just be a sanctuary in my case, right? As soon as they start using them for product or seeing them as an object, like in any manner, they are now being exploited, and it is not all right. Yes, Daniel says they deserve moral consideration. Yes. Like I said before, like, it doesn't mean that we need to teach pigs to read by age 5 or whatever. You said, that's probably my whole thing, animal welfare versus veganism. I'll probably never be in the vegan boat, but I don't feel like I am against you guys. Well, it's hard, though, because when you're like a welfarist, right, you're saying that there is a possible way to do things and use animals, right, in a way that's justified or necessary. What vegans are saying is that there is no way, and like, we can't, like, there is no way, and we only say that there is no way because we have yet to see it, right? If we're treating people with the same moral consideration that we give each other, and we know, yes, thank you, VegTechs, like, animals care about their lives, then there's no way for us to, like, ever enslave them or contain them or eat them or kill them or take their lives without yeah, I do, actually. Sure.
All right. We have somebody interested.
Without
you come right over here. We have our camera set
it
up
being
this
wrong.
way. Okay.
All right, we'll stand right here. Over here is good.
Are you interviewing me?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Is that right?
I'm ready.
I'm Elvin. It's nice
Eric.
to meet you. Nice to meet you. Both E names. That's great. Okay, so our conversation. Did they tell you anything already? What we were talking about? No.
No.
Okay. We're talking about oppression today. Maybe how they're interconnected. Are you aware of what oppression means?
I need a quick review on that, please.
No worries. Oppression is just like prolonged cruel treatment, right?
A what?
Prolonged cruel treatment.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And I'd say, like, even just like putting somebody's interest below yours,
Okay.
right?
Right.
For your benefit, like, that would be oppression. And then exploitation. Are you familiar with that at all?
A little refresher.
Exploitation.
So,
No worries. Yeah. Exploitation is going to be. Honestly, it's kind of the same. Like, oppression is like a system built off of that, right? Where it's kind of more evolved, and it's kind of a heavier weight, like, to be used against people who are less powerful than you or have less power than you. And so, what I want to ask about is our relationship with animals as well. When you think of the word animal, what comes to mind for you?
Man's best friend.
Like dogs or something?
Yeah. And animals are a living creature. So they're all living. So they're part of the whole. So I love animals.
Yeah.
When I look out, when I'm in my backyard, I just enjoy watching the squirrels run around, and so animals are good. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I believe that we have a lot to learn from animals, just in general. Whether we're just like observing them or learning from their relationships. I just think they're very great. They deserve respect. Would you agree that they deserve respect?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So when you... Oh, first I want to ask, maybe, how much time do you have right now? I don't want to, like, go too slow.
I got all night.
Okay, perfect. That's my favorite answer. Okay, so I want to think of maybe, what do you think of when you hear the word animal in a negative connotation? Like, say, like, somebody's called me an animal, like, you're an animal, or something like that. What does that make you think of?
Well, I could go to the comical part of it, as an animal, like someone who really does a very good job at work, like they're just killing it. They're an animal, right? You're an animal. If someone calls someone an animal, I'm hoping that it's in a positive way,
Right.
not an offensive way. That's where I go with that.
But in those offensive ways, like what does that look like? Or I guess I want to say like when you've heard that somebody was treated like an animal.
I would go to where that's too bad.
Like
I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't want to see that on anybody.
right.
And I wouldn't want to see any animal treated cruelly. Or any human,
Yeah,
for that matter.
I agree.
So
Do you agree that would maybe be because like humans and animals alike, humans being animals themselves, like they're capable of thinking and feeling, and they have this thing called sentience, which proves that we can think, dream, form subjective experiences, or subjective thoughts about our experiences, right? And basically have like a will to live.
Sure.
Would you say that that's why we kind of should respect each other as a whole? Is because of that, like ability to.
I believe that we're all connected. So, your question there is, can you like
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'll reiterate it.
Yeah, reiterate that.
Like so, sentience, right, is going to be the idea that we, think and feel pain, can maybe dream. Basically, just it's that quality that says that we're having subjective thoughts about our experience on in our life. Do you feel like that is the reason that, or that's a trait that people will have, animal or human, that should garner their respect or earn their respect, or like we respect animals because they're sentient, or we respect humans because they're sentient as well?
The best way I could answer that, just by processing what you're sharing with me, is that every living creature on Earth should be treated with respect.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I go with that.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to ask maybe, so what does that mean in terms of like how do you feel about how we use animals for food or entertainment?
To be honest, I do eat animals, and so when we're having this discussion, I'm like, is this about being vegan or vegetarian? That's where I'm going, but I'm, it's an honest program for me, so I do eat animals. And talking about this, I sort of sit here and go, should I be eating animals?
Well, I mean,
But,
that is perfect. I mean, like, I'll be honest, that is kind of like part of what we talk about is veganism. And it's like origin, and how it's a philosophy and not strictly a diet, right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with veganism at all? Like in terms of definition, like what it strictly means?
Don't eat anything with a face. That's one terminology that I heard.
It's a good start, right? Because that's actually just a consequence of veganism. The definition of veganism, I'll let you know, is actually an ethical stance against like the exploitation of like all sentient beings.
Okay.
Right. So we say like if somebody can think, feel, form subjective experiences or thoughts about their experiences, that means like we should not cruelly use them or treat them cruelly for a long period of time or put their benefits below ours.
Right.
And so some connections that we're trying to make as we're Total Liberation Now, that's our group name. We're trying to connect that human oppression and animal oppression, as well as their liberation, are kind of intertwined, because as we see that, like, right, these common baseline moral standards that people have of like treating people how you want to be treated, it can all those same arguments can be made for the animals that we either use for food or exploit for like horse racing or stuff like that. Is there any like use that comes to mind for animals that you feel like in 2026 is necessary, or like that justifies their, or any traits maybe that animals have that justifies their use?
God, I hate to say it. I hate to say it, But for lab studies, like mice
animal
and testing for, you know, how to cure disease. When I think about that, it's it's not humane. But that's where I go with that is like for lab studies, for to like save our lives. That would be. I don't condone that though. It's like when I think about it,
we can still recognize that it's more like it's kind of morally wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be another way. I mean, if we put our minds to it, there's other ways. I'm thinking that we can do lab tests.
Yeah, like human elected procedures, like where humans can maybe, I don't know, hey, we're paying $20,000, to try, if you're willing to come take this vaccine, and it's probably still would probably not underserve like minority communities who need that money, and then they get taken advantage of. But there's humans around who are willing to do stuff like test a lit product,
Sure.
And so we don't need animals, like animal testing, especially in like cosmetic situations. We were just talking with somebody else about animal testing, and we were talking about how actually it's like 96% of animal testing that they end up using to try to go to humans and ends up failing. So only 4% of the time it's even like helpful to like a minuscule extent. And so we kind of say like that's probably one of my biggest issues with this, because it's not yielding enough results to justify as using these animals, as well as there's inherent. Do you know what speciesism is?
No,
it's kind of like racism, sexism.
You could review that with me.
It's like speciesism is just going to be discriminating people discriminating against others based on their species, or like placing their interests below your own just based on the species they are.
Sure.
Like just because monkeys aren't human, like I don't believe that they have the right to live in the forest. Like humans are smarter, they should so it's just a set.
Right.
It's another grouping like type discrimination, where you say like this person's not in my group, I'm gonna form different rules for you than for me, right? And so I forgot where I was going with speciesism.
Think.
But basically, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go into the speciesism. Basically, is just like that discrimination part.
Okay.
So it allows us to say, that's my big issue with animal testing, is that it's still speciesist to say your species or your individual experience, right, means less than what it could mean for my people or my group, right? So like say humans are now, I think about in the example of humans are now, we've got the earth so hot, it's melting the ice, that's letting out new, diseases that, haven't been around for a while. So, and then in turn, people are testing on animals to help us mitigate the damage from things that we're already doing, right? And so at the end of the day, it's still our interest coming above theirs. The animal testing, it's not helping these animals in any way.
Right.
There's all types of situations that they're put in that it ends up being completely unnecessary. And if we look at it, it is just completely unnecessary, because what the science is saying right now is that we have so many other possibilities and alternatives as well.
See, this is very educational right now.
Oh, I'm really glad.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot out of it.
Because we're never here to like debate with people about like whether or not animals deserve rights, right? Like we're here to reiterate that, because like we already agree pretty much that animals deserve the right to live, and like we shouldn't be causing unnecessary harm. Even though like veganism isn't about harm, right? It's about the like. I guess I want to get that out of the way. Veganism, right? So you have vegetarianism and then like a carnivore diet, right? And then so vegans have a plant-based diet solely because of we don't want to exploit anybody for their for our use.
Right.
And so is there anything that maybe would be stopping you from going vegan or switching that mindset? I mean, like you seem like you already pretty much.
Right now, this is influencing how I'm thinking about what I'm doing with my nutritional intake. So I'm open to that, and I've thought about it, and I have friends on my journey that are vegan.
Oh wow!
So I totally am familiar with veganism. So sitting, just doing this interview with you is enlightening me on that. So a little more education on my choices that I have available. So
for sure,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's honestly all we ever ask people, because like we don't ever expect people to walk up and then like just they're walking away. No, like screaming I'm vegan. Yes, right. What we're encouraging is self-research, because what this world does and what the system has done, that is built off of the exploitation of all these sentient beings, humans included, like what it thrives on the misinformation and disinformation that people go through. Like we grow up thinking milk is the only way to get calcium to grow our bones. When we know that's actually probably not true, because there's a bunch of cultures who did not drink milk for centuries. And so what we see is like, as colonization rose, so did animal use, and we ended up getting disconnected from animals or fellow animals, right? Or other species.
Right. Getting in the camera there.
And so we're just asking people to maybe rethink those connections with animals, because until we do that, we won't be able to tackle human liberation, right? Because the same justifications that people use to keep, black people in slavery or, just other groups oppressed, are the same justifications that people use for using animals. They say like, well, we've eaten animals for so long, or they say, I can't get everything I want without using them, right? Like our production would go down, like cotton production. How else are we going to do it without, using them? And, it's like, they don't seem to care. So it's like, same with animals. It's like, how are we going to feed the planet without, it's like this appeal to futility. Like there's no way to do it without animals. So we kind of have to keep doing it. And they don't care because they can't speak, for themselves.
Right.
But it's like there's humans all over that can't speak for themselves, and we don't take that as a notice to go, okay, let's start breeding them, and maybe let's breed that specific quality so that we can, make sure that they can never speak for themselves, and that because they don't care, and so yeah, just like that, any use of any being is wrong. And so like, being able to live consistently within that means probably being on a plant-based diet, because the inherent exploitation that goes into all those systems. And yeah, I guess I just want you to know that it's possible, because
absolutely.
it's 100% possible. Like cultures all over the world have been vegetarian, even like before they had a word for vegan. Even like there's some Indian cultures that they still use the word vegetarian, because like that's just how it was before they had the word vegan. It was like anti-suffering already, and then so there wasn't like a really real word for the movement until I think like the mid-1900s, something like that. 1969, something like that. But I definitely want to give you a card.
All right.
It has lots of resources. This side shows like the nutrients that you need. It's like a daily dozen.
All right.
So
this
it's
is
like,
awesome.
That just shows like everything you need on a daily on a plant-based diet, which helps you be vegan. And then this other side just talks about has our website, which has a lot of resources as well. You can ask questions there or stuff like that. Sure. There's like a free vegan food resource there. And then this one is going to be Dominion. It's a documentary that allows you to see like current standard practice, like for slaughterhouses, because even like small farms, like local farms, they still have to send their animals to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
So it's like they still all happen. It's like 99% of the case that they get sent to the same like slaughterhouses in the same system. Sure. And that Dominion documentary will show you exactly what happens to the cows. It goes like section by section. So I typically recommend like maybe taking one section at a time. as much as you can handle, just because it is really harrowing stuff to see.
Yeah, I've watched documentaries on that.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called, but it was very eye-opening. And this is just like opening my eyes again to something that I haven't been too conscious about right now.
Oh yeah, and
or present with.
That's good.
So yeah.
Well, the time to get present with it is now. I'm telling you, because like
Yeah.
it's only gonna grow. You know, like social justice movements. That's how I see it. Right, veganism. As I became vegan, it shifted from plant-based diet, or people only eating tofu, or they're like all hippy dippy and they love the earth. It shifted into like this is a social justice movement that is fighting like against the oppression and exploitation of all the people I love, whether they be birds, fish, cows, goats. Like it's just it's one way to wrap all of my ethical beliefs into one and actually live by that. Because I tried to be pescatarian before, or vegetarian, because I was like, I acknowledged that using animals was wrong, but I had yet figured out how to actually like implement that in my life. Because I thought you needed animals to be healthy, and I thought you needed like calcium from milk, or whatever. So I thought plants weren't able to do that, or that soy took up more land than cows do, but that obviously makes no sense because they're plants. So how would that work? But there are so many misconceptions. Is all I mean.
I hear you. I understand. Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing you. Yeah.
I want to let you go just because I've been like chatting away at you.
No,
but
you're
just like super open, and it's always nice to talk to open-minded, honest people. Because
well, thank you. And this has been very enlightening for me, educational.
Yeah.
And I definitely will check this out because I'm open to this.
Yeah, I'm really glad.
I don't drink milk at all.
Oh, nice.
So I stopped drinking milk a long time ago.
Do you want to know why I don't drink milk, or why don't you drink milk?
Well, I do have a lactate intolerance.
Oh, lactose intolerance.
So it congests me. So that's why I quit milk, and I went to almond milk, and then I'm trying to figure out what's a good milk, because there's so many options out there. But that's one of the reasons.
I think I use soy and almond milk primarily right now.
That's what I'm using now. I went from almond milk to soy milk because it's got more protein in it.
It does.
There's less fillers in it. It's like, and I do unsweetened.
Yeah, me
soy
too.
Milk.
Yeah, me too.
Because the sugars, which I'm addicted to sugar, but so I'm looking at that too. So, but yeah.
Well, any lasting questions or burning things that you feel maybe might come up?
Well, one thing is that raising cattle and slaughterhouses and all that, just destroying the land.
Oh yeah.
Destroying it. I watched a documentary on that, and it's like, wow. I mean, it's taking all this water, destroying the land.
Yeah.
They're what they leave behind. I mean, not good.
Yeah, animal agriculture itself is a colonial imposition. I see it as, at least, on this continent, because like cows, chickens, and pigs, like they're not even native to like this continent. They're actually all brought over and then genetically bred and like domestically, hosted here. Colonists, they cleared out the bison so that Native Americans couldn't subsist or just live their life as they did, and in doing so, it made space for their farms and their farmland, because that was how they knew how to do things back on their country. So they brought it here.
Right.
And part of that was like, we're civilizing the Western world, and we're, manifesting our destiny that, must be corner to corner, like the whole continent. So it's all connected, and it's all so terrible, but it's to be able to live like consistently against it everywhere is also fulfilling. So that's why I personally am encouraging people to go vegan, because getting rid of those categories in their head and that hierarchy, getting rid of hierarchy anywhere is always going to be beneficial, because it's the systems that are upheld by it that destroy us all, like whether it's from the inside, the outside. But yeah.
Nice.
So, sorry.
Thank you for the education, and
I thank you for stopping by. I
Yeah.
feel like I just like your
no,
rant.
it's all good. You have a passion for this, and I appreciate your time.
I thank you. I appreciate your time too.
Thank
What was your name?
Eric.
Eric. Yes, that's right.
Your name?
Elvin.
Elvin.
Yes.
Nice
It's like
to meet you, sir.
ELVAN. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Wave back to the camera.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too.
Maybe we can chat together a little bit.
Hi, Ian. Ian's talking about the immense water use.
Email me.
Oh yes. Honestly, I don't
Or how's
have.
that work?
Let me get
Total
your.
Liberation now. If you look that up on YouTube.
Is it on this card?
Here.
Honestly, it's not. We are a little bit new. We're part of 2 groups.
We'll do.
That's what you have to remember if you want to see this live. If you just look that up on YouTube, it will come up.
If you have an email you want to. I don't know if it's easy to say out loud. I can just write it down right here and then I'll send you an email.
Here, should we mute it
I guess
for a
I don't
second?
wanna-
Yeah,
yeah.
let me talk. Let's mute it for a second. So all right, y'all. I'm sure you can hear us now again. We muted for a second because we had some information we needed to share. All right, thank you everyone for being here. We are still live in Vancouver, Washington, on the waterfront. We're having conversations about animal ethics. We're talking about the question, is it ethical to exploit other animals? Is it justified to use them for food or clothing or entertainment when we have another option? To the non-vegans in the chat, I invite you to leave your best justification so that I can open up a conversation with you. Everyone who is here, please do continue to double tap the screen as well as share the live. If you have a favorite chat, post the link to the live in there so that we can have a big conversation. Somebody says, how does veganism approach insects like bees and honey? So veganism does not support the exploitation of insects like bees because honey is bees' food. So we wouldn't take it from them. We wouldn't use them to produce it if we have another option, such as maple syrup. And even if we didn't have maple syrup, honestly, we could still choose something else before contributing to bees being used and stealing their food from them. Bees really depend on honey. It's their food source. So we don't want to participate in a system that extracts it from them, that treats them as objects, rather than our fellow earthlings that we share this planet with.
So you're saying, Travis, you're saying we should stick to the benefits of the diet and forget the moral, ethical arguments, but it's not the diet.
It's not a diet.
It's not like veganism, one, isn't the diet, one, and so, oh my gosh. And two, like, even if we were to get people to focus on the diet, you'll see that people don't stay vegan or stay, stay vegan, right? Or stay on a plant-based diet because all that's tying them to it is the diet. Whereas if you change people's mentality on how they see animals, right, and get to the root of the issue of like there being this supremacist mindset, like in their brain, that's something that they'll probably never turn back on because it's the same reason that we are against racism. It's the same reason we're against sexism.
And veganism as a diet completely erases the animals that are being exploited within the entertainment, testing, and clothing industries. If we were to construct our veganism as merely a diet, what would that mean for our animal relatives who are trapped in cages at zoos and aquariums? It would mean that we completely neglect and forget them. So our veganism is not about a diet, it's about a principle against exploitation.
It's not even just ours, like it's all veganism. And there is ethical standing to veganism. Like, I don't understand. You've been in this lives so long, but like an inability to absorb information.
Thank you to everyone who's here. Keep double tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live. We're here to talk about connections between human oppression and the way that humans objectify our animal relatives that we share this planet with.
Yeah.
If we seek to be consistent, why would we uphold some hierarchies and oppose others? If we oppose hierarchies which place some humans above others, such as a racist hierarchy, such as a capitalist hierarchy, such as a gender hierarchy, if we oppose these, on what basis can we reinforce a speciesist hierarchy in which some animals' lives are seen as worthy and others are seen as disposable?
It doesn't mean that saying that no pets either. Like, no, it doesn't mean that. What it means is like affording them, like, and not exploiting them, right? So I would actually encourage you, right, to go. I would probably encourage everybody to have a quote unquote pet, because what that would mean is, in my idea, is people going to go adopt or rescue animals from shelters where dogs and cats are being bred into existence so much that like, you know,
there is a way to exploit them at that shelter if you were to just continue to purchase them, wait for them to not be a puppy, and then wait and go get another puppy. That would be exploiting them, using them as an object for your entertainment. But if you rescue somebody from an unfortunate situation and give them a good life, that's not exploitation, and it is completely compatible with a vegan ethic.
Yeah. And you know, that's just to say, like, pets doesn't mean it's like people say, like, are you a dog owner or a dog lover? Because like, if you're caretaking for an animal and you recognize their individuality and personhood and you try to grant them that every step along the way, then you're also recognizing that you're not an owner to them. Like, they do not exist for you. They are not just your companion.
They have their own wants.
Yes, they're not just your companion. So, you know, this idea of like pet, right? Like, it already doesn't make any sense to me.
Thank you to the vegans who are here. I want to ask the non-vegans who are here and who are open-minded to leave their best argument against veganism in the chat so that we can start up a discussion. We're not necessarily here to argue or start any fights, but we are here to open up a conversation about animal ethics and adopt a critical lens and examine these justifications that humans use to oppress our animal relatives. We find if we examine them deeply, if we look at these justifications, they're the same ones that are used to oppress human groups. So if these justifications aren't good enough to oppress a human, why are they good enough to oppress our earthlings that we share this planet with? Somebody says it's not really our right to produce animals to be used as pets. That's a good point. We don't support the breeding of other animals to be used as pets. We do support rescuing cats and dogs and other animals once they already exist to give them a good life, but these animals should not be continuously bred into existence. We agree with you. It's great to have everybody here. Keep double tapping that screen. We're going to wrap up here pretty shortly, I'm thinking. It's great to have you here, Spooky. Great to have you here, Daniel. I really appreciate y'all.
Hi, Spooky. Hi, Daniel.
I know it's not too...
Hi, Allison.
I know it's not too eventful here just yet, but Total Liberation Now is just getting started. We're growing, and we're going to especially need your help as there are more trolls in the chat that need to be moderated. So please continue tuning into Total Liberation Now. We will be here regularly. Travis says, so adopt pets so they don't kill them, correct? Yeah, we should adopt animals rather than...
Let them be. Like, if you have the ability and like you
to rescue somebody.
It's just like adopting a baby, right? You want to talk about babies. Like, it's not right if they were to be breeding a bunch of babies in shelters, you know, just for people to come adopt the cute ones. But like, if you have the ability and you're financially able to support, you know, a child, like,
there's no exploitation in rescuing them.
Yeah, like if you feel like you're morally obligated to, like, go ahead and do that, and you know, treat them with the respect they deserve. And,
yeah.
Like,
somebody says
the way they should be.
We need to take care of the animals that are here, and I think that's a good way to put it. Somebody says, aren't vegans oppressing living plants? Let's go to the next level on this. So no, plants can't be oppressed because they're not sentient. They don't have preferences like animals do. If you're concerned about plant welfare, we can reduce the amount of plants that we use and kill as a society by transitioning to a plant-only food system that requires more plants to be used and killed if we have an omnivore food system like we do currently. But let's say that, but let's get back to this question that plants are sentient, that they might feel. Please provide evidence of this in the chat. If you have compelling evidence that demonstrates that plants feel in the same way that animals do, we would like to see it. So paste the title of that study in the chat, and we'll be sure to look at it. I think most of the folks who are making this comparison between plant life and animals, they realize that it's more ethical to put a cucumber into a gas chamber rather than a cow, a living cow. And if you understand that, you've granted that there's a moral distinction between sentient and non-sentient life. The non-sentient plant isn't going to scream and gasp for oxygen. They're not going to experience pain. But the cow, the animal in the gas chamber, will. They'll gasp. They'll suffer. They want to live. Let's see. Hi, Daniel. Daniel says, these three trolls just trying to talk in circles. Yeah, we're answering a lot of the same questions right now. We are wrapping up here in Vancouver, Washington on the waterfront.
Wrapping up?
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired. That last conversation was a little bit more difficult for me because when I'm running out of stamina, it's hard talking to these people all day.
Hi, Spooky.
Dang, that's crazy. At least they came here. They're fans from AAU. I love that. Right.
Oh, yeah. I see that, Ian. Wow.
Yes, like Suki said, thank you for being here. Every comment you make really helps spread the message of veganism.
We already touched on the use of bees.
For almond production, literally...
Boycott almonds if you're concerned with that.
Like just don't touch almonds.
A plant
like
only.
You can be vegan,
can
not use almonds, and be on a plant-based diet. So...
It's not a concern, and it doesn't discredit a vegan ethic. You could just really add almonds to the foods that you personally boycott.
Yeah. Like, and some people already do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't usually buy almonds, but I'm not really familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know I just said I primarily use, like, almond and soy milk to that last guy. Oh!
Soy milk. We use soy milk.
But we use soy milk, actually. I've just realized, like, it actually has been a couple months since I've seen almond milk in our fridge. I don't know. Yeah, I believe vegans are on the right side of history as well. I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, I think I just skipped on here. Oops.
Vegan Donor Lady is just finishing up with an off-camera conversation, and we are going to wrap this up.
You best believe they're taking resources. They said, wow, this lady knows her stuff. Like,
oh, yeah. Anna's such a competent, just... powerful activist. We're very lucky to have Anna always joining us for our streams and to work in collaboration with Anna and the rest of the folks at Anti-Animal Use. We're really grateful.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, not supported. Vegans do not consume honey. Almonds do not require it explicitly, so they can be vegan. Similar to palm oil. Badly farmed, but a vegan product. Yeah, here I was kind of hoping to like flip the camera to them, but I don't think he wanted to be on camera, so...
Yeah, we won't do that. To the vegans, spam some green hearts right now. I know Savvy did that last week when we said we were going to wrap up, and then you spammed green hearts, and then we went for another hour or something. But actually, I think we're going to wrap up this time. So spam those green hearts, Savvy. Start it off. And they're spooky, sorry. Sometimes I go back and forth. But please do that so that we can let the algorithm know that Total Liberation Now is a channel that people want to watch and people want to engage with.
Actually, the host not blocking sensible opposing views is commendable. Don't come for Spooky, okay? Because Spooky knows what they're talking about.
Cordially addressing your arguments in the chat from what I've seen. So,
and honestly, like, I would probably refrain from calling the opposing views sensible, in my opinion. I mean, like, I don't think that you shouldn't be saying any of those things. I just think that none of them are valid justifications or reasons that we should use animals at all. So, yeah. Oh, timed out. We don't have any, like, mods or nothing in our settings, so I don't really know how that works. But I'm glad. Oh, you got timed out from spamming. I see. That makes sense.
Thank you, Spooky. I really appreciate your engagement and
Got
always
maybe,
your
like-
interaction with the non-vegans in the chat.
Me too.
It's so important to have vegans in that space as well, because there's only so much we can do here in person. Because we get distracted with in-person conversations, or we get distracted with a longer argument that we see in the chat that takes up a lot of time to address.
Yeah, and we still need to like actually make mods because we don't actually have them.
I guess that could be a problem
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, we'll be doing that. Don't worry, folks. We definitely want
We don't
mods
do a
to
lot of
keep things
stuff.
free of bigotry.
I want to work on like, you know, getting our cards out and stuff like that too, or, you know, just posting more content in general. I want to post a lot more on our like Instagram where it's just like us speaking in like literally just to the camera like this, but yeah, so that should be expected soon.
All right.
We're saying goodbye. I think everybody's here. You know, we're gonna wave. It's like all right. Thank you everybody for joining us. This was Total Liberations Now's second stream at the Vancouver Waterfront. And yes, a
Lots
very
of
good success. We have a lot of conversations. We're still working on clipping up our conversations from last week. However, now that we have these, like those will definitely be getting on. Yeah. So yeah. Hopefully you can like the live, share it, copy link if you can. I don't know if you want to share it in any groups now. I'm sure you probably already have. You've been here in this whole damn time.
Share them now.
Thank you so much to every vegan. Yeah, let me go.
I'm Enigma. You can find me on Instagram at Genderless Enigma. If you found these conversations enlightening, or if you found them, I don't know, spiking your curiosity, please do subscribe to Total Liberation Now on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram. We will be getting into the habit of making announcements of future events so that people can plan to join. I know we're just kind of surprising y'all right now.
Yeah, right now we like literally haven't posted anything like, you know, that says like Total Liberation Now is going live on Friday. So
But we're working towards that.
Soon.
Yeah.
All in time. I appreciate all of the vegans who are here, especially Spooky and Ian, like y'all, and Daniel was there the whole time too. I'm like, don't let me miss out on some of y'all. All of y'all have been so helpful. And with that, I'll pass it to Vegan Stoner Lady.
Oh, yeah. I'm Vegan Stoner Lady. I'm here to support Total Liberation Now. I really love this specific push towards aligning, or, you know, drawing that line between human oppression and other animal oppression, because it's really stark when you say that, you know, we're going to use arbitrary traits like species. It's just like racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, etc. You know, like you're just using some arbitrary trait that you deem lesser. Wow, look at that bike. Sorry, ADD.
It's the same logic of oppression.
It is. It's the same logic of oppression, and I really appreciate that push for that specific focus. So anyway, I'm really glad to be here. So thank you guys.
Let me hit the button.
And we're always glad to have Vegan Stoner Lady and
Very
Ian
grateful.
and all of you vegans. Goodbye.